that wire that may have been causing some of the problems. We'll find out soon
All
enough.
right. Well, we'll see how many times the camera goes off. Knock on wood. But we are live. We're going to discuss the make and miss playoff odds for the 2026 NFL season. Before we get into it, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something from the merch store. It is our August is Gluttony Month T-shirts. It is almost August. About 15 more days until August.
Hey, let us enjoy the rest of July first. This year's going quick enough.
I know.
But then
I know.
again, the quicker it goes, the quicker we are to kick off.
That's true. But you know
You got a
what?
good
I
point
mean, Gluttony Month is very important. A lot of fat people out there, and we deserve a month. So you can get that shirt as well as everything else here at the merch store. You can change the colors. You can get long sleeve hoodie, women's tank top, and infant onesie. We have other stuff, including mugs, our famous apron, playing cards, mouse pads, blankets, bibs, etc. 10% off. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks of the College Years, which has a perfect 5 out of 5 rating. So you might want to check that out. I made fun of a lot of people during
Is
my
that
6
from like
years.
125,000 responders?
No, it's only a couple. Unfortunately,
Few hundred?
Yeah, no, not
Dozen?
even. No, just a few, just a couple. But no,
You and your kids and your Steelers father-in-law fan?
actually,
He's not doing the over this year, right?
I haven't talked to him about that, but I don't think he will be. Yeah, he hasn't said anything, so we'll see. But anyway, my first book was A Safety and a Field Goal, which is a top 5 topic book about the NFL. And please consider super chats and super stickers. That it really is the best way to support the show. If you want to do so, please do that. Can't say this enough. YouTube doesn't pay us anything. In fact, like Spotify pays 10x what YouTube does, and we're not on Spotify right now. So if you want to help us out, that is the best way to do it.
Yeah, but wait, 10x times nothing is nothing.
Well, the limit as
you're making Spotify look too good.
Yeah,
but they're a potential sponsor, so they are very good.
Yeah. Well, they do host our other shows, the shorter videos. Anyway, so we're joined by Andy Iskoe from TheLogicalApproach.com. Andy, how are you?
I am fine, as you mentioned. Even though July is almost over, in your opinion, there, even though we have half the month to go, we are getting closer to football. I'm getting more and more stuff done all day, starting to devote more time to college football, but still a greater emphasis on the NFL. The contest signups have started nicely, and we're getting that much closer to that time when we get to see. We have these old once a year reunions with people, which is kind of nice. And we talk strategy and things like that when we get together. And again, just getting up to date with all these developments coming out of training camp. And I guess the Jets do have some good news that Geno Smith, the charges against him or the investigation has been concluded, so he should be good to go. I don't know what the situation is for the first 2 times he was arrested this spring, but the third time, which happened just I think about a week or 10 days ago, apparently there was not credible evidence or something, and so he was just that situation was dropped. So that's good news for the Jets. It's bad news for your buddy Brady.
I know. I was about to say Brady Cook. I was hoping for him to make some starts this year. We could make easy money fading him as we did last year, but alas, it's not going to happen. Hopefully, we do get some other crappy quarterbacks.
I'll tell you what. The good thing would be is if Brady Cook got traded to like the Miami Dolphins and started for the Dolphins like 4 games, because that way the Jets defense might have an interception or 2.
Oh, that's true. I wonder what the thinking would be for the Dolphins to make that trade. It's like, oh, we really need to get Brady Cook in here. It's like Malik Willis has failed.
Was he with anyone before the Jets?
No, he was a rookie. He was a rookie out of college last year. So
where did he go? Do you remember?
Missouri, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he was absolutely terrible. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe Malik Willis goes down, or
who was it? Peterson who threw the 6 interceptions in the first half?
Nathan Peterman.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does he compare to Brady Cook?
I think Peterman was a better prospect. Peterman's a better thrower.
Where were those 2 guys drafted? Do you recall? Or was one of them undrafted free agent?
I think Peterman was 4th or 5th round, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And was Brady Cook even drafted? That's I don't know. Let me see. Brady Cook he was undrafted free agent. Okay, yeah. But Peterman, I believe, was a 4th or 5th rounder. John Gruden.
Do you remember where he went?
He went to Pitt.
Okay.
Yeah. So Yeah, I mean, there were some good quarterbacks came out of Pitt, and the Steelers owner famously
Dan Marino?
yeah, pretty much, yeah. The Steelers owner, he said himself that the next time a Pitt first round quarterback would come around, that he would draft him, and that's why they drafted who was, I can't remember his name, the guy from the 2022 NFL draft. What's his name? It's killing me. Oh, Kenny Pickett.
That's
Pickett.
okay. I was
Yeah.
just trying to remember.
Yeah.
I do remember that incident. Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's turned out okay. I mean, serviceable. Nothing special.
He's like,
horrible name for a quarterback, though.
Yeah.
Johnny, it's a great name for defensive safety.
Yeah, no, seriously, but no, he was pretty bad, and he's a backup now. But like, for a first rounder,
is he a backup in Pittsburgh or?
No,
he's Philadelphia at one point.
He threw a one pass in the Super Bowl, and that won Evan Daniel money because he bet 3 players to throw passes.
Three quarterback attempts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Super Bowl was that?
59.
Oh, that was what? Philly Eagles and Chiefs.
Eagles Chiefs after the 24 season.
Oh, so he was with the Eagles that year.
Yeah, he's with the Eagles now.
Yeah,
he's currently with the Panthers. So.
Okay.
Unless there's an injury, you wouldn't expect him to play. But yeah, I mean, look, if he went 3rd or 4th round, you could maybe say, okay, he's a fine for where he went. But to take him in the 1st round was ridiculous. No one wanted him. I remember the draft, like Charlie's constantly reaching out to sources, and they're like, no, we don't like Pickett. We don't like Pickett. And it came down, the Steelers are the only team that drafted him because he went to Pittsburgh. So
how long has Charlie been doing the draft?
Well, he's been covering the draft for us since 2010, and before that, he was covering the Buccaneers, but he covered the draft for the Buccaneers. So
when did he really get started? Do you happen to recall?
I think like 06 or 07.
Oh, okay. So because I was going to say, if it was back in the late 90s, I would have been interested to see where he had Tom Brady.
Okay. Well, Charlie's my age, so I think like a year older. So
he would have been 15 or 16.
Yeah, we were in high school in the 90s. Yeah.
That doesn't mean he couldn't have been a draftnik, but I would have, because he turned into obviously a very, very astute scout or draftnik, I guess.
Oh yeah. Well,
I guess it's sort of like a scout. It performs a similar function. I would have been interested to see, and I haven't gone back to see that. I probably could go online and read reviews of, what was it, the 1999 draft class?
Yeah, actually, for my the 99 draft class with Kalsh and McNabb and Culpepper and Achilles Smith. I needed a quote from someone for my book, my first book, because I was only 17 when the draft happened, so I didn't know. Actually, 16. So I didn't know much about it. I just remember it, but I didn't know the details of it. So I asked.
Were you like a fan back then?
Yeah, I mean, I started my website 6 months after that draft occurred.
Oh, okay. Who were you a fan of back then, growing up?
Eagles, the Eagles, because I lived in Philly, but I severed ties with them, I guess, unless I'm betting on them. But no, I didn't know much about that draft. I needed a quote on someone for like Tim Couch or something, and so I asked Charlie. I'm like, hey, do you know someone who was maybe a GM or a VP of personnel or something back in '99? Because I need a quote from my book. And Charlie's like, okay, let me see what I can do. And 2 hours later, I got an email from a person who was general manager back in 1999, and he said, "Hey, Charlie said you need a quote or something for your book. What can I do for you?" I'm like,
"What was it a GM from? Do you remember who it was or what team?"
I don't want to say the team because I don't want to out him as one of Charlie's guys. But it was an NFC team. Okay. So I got the quote, and it was pretty great. I couldn't believe it was like 2 hours later that Charlie.
Now, what is? Did you need a quote on a specific subject or a specific player, or just the impressions of that draft class?
It was it was in my what if chapter, and it was what if the Eagles had drafted Ricky Williams, because that was such a heated debate between Williams and McNabb, and so I needed to find out like what would have occurred after that, and it's so getting a source, getting quotes from a former NFL GM. I mean that helped a lot. So I mean that's how I was able to complete that chapter. So
was Kotite the Eagles coach then, or was it? Who was it from Green Bay that they had for a couple of years?
It was actually when that draft occurred. They had just hired Andy Reid. That was Andy Reid's
Okay.
first
Yeah.
draft, and they had Ray Rhodes before that.
Ray Rhodes, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray Rhodes. Kotite.
Kotite was earlier, I guess.
Kotite, his last year with the Eagles, I believe, was 94 or 95. They started 7-2, and they lost their final 7 games and missed the playoffs. So they fired him right after that, and the Jets hired him, and I think the Jets went like 3-13 and then 1-15, and it was like enough for Rich Kotite.
And was that when Ray Rhodes came in after Kotite?
Yeah, Ray Rhodes came in after Kotite,
and he lasted like three years, maybe.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years. They made the playoffs once, but then in '98 they had a lot of hope with Bobby Hoying, who started. He started some games at the end of the '97 season. He was amazing.
Who was he? Was he Ohio State or?
Yeah, he was Ohio State. So he had some amazing games. It was like he had like a 40-point shootout against the Bengals. Like he was really good. And then there's so much hope with him heading into '98, and the Eagles were awful. He was horrible. He got benched in the middle of the season for Koy Detmer. Koy Detmer took over.
Okay.
Yeah, the neckbeard Koy Detmer. So I remember my friend Heather.
That was the number 2 of the Detmer.
Yeah, Ty Detmer was the better one. Yeah, but my friend Heather, she loved Koy Detmer. Yeah, because she had a crush on him or something. She's my age, and she was so upset that they drafted McNabb. She's like, they have to draft Williams. Koy Detmer's my guy. So she was pretty upset about that. But
I think the Eagles were pretty happy with their draft choice.
Yeah, no, it worked out. And Ricky Williams a few years later went on tour with Lenny Kravitz, so that didn't work out for the Saints, So that was pretty bad. And actually,
Mike Ditka to wear a dress or something.
The dress, yeah, because the wedding.
That was a cover of Sports Illustrated, as I recall.
It was, yeah. And Williams's tour with Kravitz actually occurred when he was in Miami, and I remember AJ Feely was the quarterback of the Dolphins then. I saw.
Where was he? He was from Dartmouth.
It's from Oregon.
Oregon. Okay.
Oregon.
I'm trying to think of the
I think Jay Fiedler was the
Jay Fiedler. That's the one you're thinking of.
Yeah. So Feely played for the Eagles in 2002 when he took over from McNabb. He went like 6-1 as a starter, or 7-1, and he played really well.
What was the injury for McNabb that year?
It's a leg injury, his knee or ankle. I can't remember, but it occurred against the Cardinals, and
because it was the next year. Was it the next year or the year after that they made the Super Bowl?
2 years after.
04 season.
04, yeah. 04. So Feely played in 02. He did really well, and then he signed with the Dolphins. And he only lasted like a year or two as a starter. But I saw we were downtown.
Was he still coaching then, or he retired by then?
It was who?
Don Shula.
Oh no, that was Dave Wanstead was coaching the Dolphins then.
So Shula retired a few years earlier, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah. So I was downtown at a bar with my friends a couple years after that, and we saw AJ Feely. And we're like, oh, AJ, he came over. He was really nice. He was talking to us. And I was like, AJ, you really got screwed in Miami. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, you had Dave Wanstead. He was a lame duck coach. Yeah, you had Ricky Williams. He went on tour, so you didn't have him in your first year as a starter. And then I mentioned a couple other injuries that occurred. And he's like, yeah, I was screwed in Miami.
Thank you for letting me know that. Yeah.
Yeah, racist.
I got to tell my agent. Maybe we can do something about that.
Yeah,
you get 10% if I do.
Yeah, it'd be funny if that made
I'll
his
buy 3 of your books just to show my appreciation.
I know I should have told him, but I gave him my card. I don't know if he ever visited the site, but maybe I made his night. It's like, oh yeah.
Maybe he's watching tonight.
Yeah, maybe he's one of our listeners. Maybe he's Kevin Kovac or Slew.
Maybe he's we don't know his nickname.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well,
you know what his online name will be? Dolphin screwed me.
Dolphin screwed me. Ricky screwed me. Dolphin screwed something like that. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. We're going to discuss make or miss the playoffs.
Yep.
I think we will go by division. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you want to tackle that? You want to do division with make and then miss, or do you want to do make and then?
I think we could team by team make or miss.
Okay. All right, makes sense. Okay. Well, the first team up here in FanDuel is Buffalo, so I figured we should start with the AFC East.
I've got the way I've got it listed, just for whatever it's worth on this one. I've got you have all the teams listed. You don't have it by division. You have it by team, correct?
Yeah, I have it by team. Yeah.
In other words, you don't have Buffalo, Miami, New England, the Jets. You have Buffalo. Oh, maybe you do.
Well,
No,
this group's
Buffalo.
by AFC.
Oh, I
FanDuel
guess, and it must be
by odds. Yeah,
by odds, by who's the what's the biggest favorite? I guess you're saying is Buffalo. What's that, minus 320?
minus 320 tied with Baltimore.
And let me see what I have here. I have okay, I have Buffalo minus 380 to make it plus 310 to miss it. I don't like laying minus 380. If you're able to parlay some of these,
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea. If you can parlay 3 or 4 of them and get back maybe 2.5 to 1, depending upon how heavy the favorites are. So
yeah,
I would say Buffalo at minus I'll go with your number.
yeah, 320.
Okay, Buffalo. I'm gonna write this down. Buffalo, yes, minus 320. And I will what I will probably end up doing when we're done is make come up with a 2 or a 3 team parlay for who I want Buffalo to be with.
Okay, I'm gonna put them down here and see what we got.
Because I think it's there are better ways to invest 3.2 units than have it sitting for a season alone by itself to make 1 unit.
I know, yeah.
If you're anything of a decent handicapper or better, I should really say, or both, if you want to put it together, you should be able to turn 3.2 units into more than 1 unit over the entirety of a season.
Yeah, or in the stock market or something, like any sort of fashion. Yeah, any sort of fashion. Yeah, like to put 320 away for 6 months is just
to make 1 unit. Yeah,
right. It's not like you're doing this for the weekend or even like a couple weeks. It's a heavy investment they have to lay down here. So I wouldn't recommend betting this. I assume you're not going to either outside of the parlay. Do you have any interest in Buffalo plus 260 to miss the playoffs?
No.
Okay, I don't either. Okay, let's get to the Patriots, the next team in that division. I assume.
You're going by the odds next division, not alphabetically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could do. It doesn't really matter.
Either way, you could do New England.
Okay, New England to make the playoffs is minus 210, and for New England to miss the playoffs, they are plus 176. Is that what you have?
I have minus 180. Yes. Plus 155. No. Let me see on Buffalo on my the circa South Point. Let me just give you Buffalo. Buffalo is minus 380 and plus 320, and New England is minus 160 plus 140.
That's much better than what I have. Minus 160s. I have minus 210. So
yeah.
I still don't like it, but.
Yeah, what do I think about New England? I mean, you got to figure they're going to get 3 or 4 wins from the Dolphins and the Jets.
Yeah.
But looking at the rest of the schedule, if you think they can go 10-7 or better, they probably make the playoffs. So they would drop. Now they played the easy schedule last year and the tougher schedule this year.
Yeah.
But they still have a 4-game leeway where they can go 10-7, drop 4 games from last year, and still make the playoffs. So I'm going to pass on this one because I don't like either of the odds. I would have liked to have gotten more on the miss the playoffs because take a look at the suspects. Since we're doing it conference by conference, okay? I look at the potentials. Kansas City, the Chargers, the Broncos in the West, the Jaguars and the Texans in the South, that's 5. The Bengals and the Ravens is 7, and the Bills and the Patriots is 9. So 2 of those 9. Now that's assuming nobody comes from out, like let's say Pittsburgh, surprises us, and it could happen with McCarthy, and it could happen with with Rodgers if he's healthy. Okay, but where else is it going to come from? I don't think it'll come from the Titans or the Colts. Don't think the Raiders can do it. If I've got 9 teams that I think can, that means I've got 7 teams that I think can't. And who are those 7 teams? Those 7 teams would be the Raiders, the Titans, the Colts, the Steelers, the Browns, the Jets and the Dolphins.
Yep, that's
So
exactly that.
if I can make one of those seven get in there, and maybe just maybe of those seven, because of their history, I'd have to say Pittsburgh, just based on everything about the organization and everything. I mean, I remember, you see, when I was growing up in the '60s, Pittsburgh was a horrible team. They didn't get good until Chuck Noll came in there and Bradshaw became quarterback like in '69. And then they dominated for like the next 20 years through the '80s. And then as Bradshaw, started to retire, and they had a whole bunch of different quarterbacks coming in that they declined. So they had, so they were a horrible team. And then, then they had their run under Cowher, who had a successful run, although it was probably 10, 12 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Before Tomlin came in there, and he was there 18, 19 years, whatever it was, and he had a successful run. I mean, just take a look at all those winning seasons. So there's a culture there, and it's a family-owned team, so there's a lot of continuity as far as front office people and things like that. That if there's one of those seven teams that I mentioned as likely non-making the playoffs, maybe Pittsburgh could get in there. So when we get to that, maybe I'll have a different thought on Pittsburgh. Because I haven't right now. I'm not looking at the value because I want to wait till we look at the when we get to the division. But so right now for New England, I have them as one of the 9. But history suggests, especially with the change in the strength of schedule, that they should regress. Will they digress? Will they regress by more than 4 wins and go 9-7, which would be borderline wild card? I'm not so sure they will. I still think, I could see them winning 9, 10, or 11. Right. But I don't feel confident in any of those 3 numbers. Which do I think is more likely, 11 or 9? That's probably, for me, I'd make it a pick 'em. I'd make 10 probably a reasonable number, but 10 itself is not assurance of making the playoffs. It's a pretty good assurance, but go to Seattle 2 years ago in, McDonald's first year?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's McDonald, yeah. 10-7 didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, we both had 9 wins, by the way. So that makes sense.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah,
right. So they can go 9-8 and make the playoffs. Maybe it's a little dicey, but it could be possible. It's a tough one. Because
I don't know that there will be a repeat. If Cincinnati's healthy, I don't see 9-8 winning that division this year. I see at least 10 wins winning it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay. So we don't like either of those numbers yet, except for maybe the Bills and the parlay. So let's go to the Jets. Yeah. The Jets are plus 750 to make the playoffs, and they are to miss the playoffs. They are minus 1,200. So that could be one of those. Evan parlayed like 8 of these to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I can't even put that in a parlay, even though it's like a 90% certainty, because it does nothing to the parlay.
Right. Yeah, it'll move it like.
What is it at? 12 cents to a, or 12, not even $12 to $100 parlay. I would.
Right. Yeah.
$8 or $7 or something like that. I might consider yes for a half unit on that.
Yeah,
because I know you like the Jets. I kind of like them because I like the makeup of the roster. I know I'm writing off last year's defensive collapse as an aberration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, even though they lost 2 of their key players, I think that the roster is better, and I think that it's kind of like I think we talked when we were doing the divisions that I said kind of like with the Raiders and the Titans. When we did the over-unders. I said I like these teams, but they may not show. I expect them to both be improved over last year, but it may not reflect in the win-loss record. I think the Jets, if Geno is healthy and capable with the talent that he has, and I think Aaron Glenn is still a defensive coach, I think that they could be a surprise team out of those 7 that I mentioned, along with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I feel the same way. They added a lot of good talent on defense. They got.
I like the leadership of Fitzpatrick. I like his leadership.
Yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick, Demario Davis, Tavondre Sweat. These are really good players. They have 2 good tackles. They have a great guard. Garrett Wilson's an awesome receiver. Brees Hall, a talented running back. Geno Smith is, he's not top 10, but he's not Brady Cook
Well, he is
either.
according to someone.
Right. He's not Brady Cook either. So,
No.
So they definitely have a better situation than they did last year.
I would say he's closer to Tom Brady than Brady Cook, even though there's a great gap between both of those comparisons.
Yeah, I think
he's had a successful career. He's been to a couple of Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl, should have won another.
Yeah, no, I definitely, Brady Cook is just like abysmal. So, plus 750 is that anything to entice you to bet that?
It's worth half a unit.
Maybe. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm not sure if I could pull the trigger, but it's something to consider.
Now it might be a half unit parlay with a couple of other underdogs, like a Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Now risking very little, but look, it's the NFL. On average, it used to be of the 12 teams that made the playoffs one year, it was usually between 4 and 6 that did not repeat the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got 2 more, and so it's probably now between 5 and 7. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's not that difficult to research. But and could the Jets be one of those 18 teams that didn't make? Well, one of the 9 teams in the AFC that didn't make the playoffs. We don't care about the other conference. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
It's easy to pick. It's easy to pick 7 playoff teams from the 9 teams that I mentioned. It's real easy to do that.
Yeah, okay? That's true.
It's a little bit more risky to, and if you're going to give me 7.5 to 1 on a team that I expect to be improved.
Mm-hmm.
Competent quarterback. You talked about the other roster spots. You talked about the defensive improvement. Yeah, they seem to be much better positioned than Miami. They have had competitive games against Buffalo over the years with lesser teams.
Yeah. They have, yeah.
New England, they've had some competitive games with, and again, how much does New England regress this year, if at all? Yes, they play a much tougher schedule, but they're also a better team than they were the team that started last year.
Yeah,
Drake
absolutely.
May's now had a full season. The other players have had there. Vrabel's had a year to get acclimated with everybody he inherited and the decisions that he's made. So New England could still be a formidable team, but I'm passing on them simply because history suggests there could be. Now, do you have the numbers in front of you? How many games were decided by like 4 points or less for the Patriots last year that they won?
I can pull that up right now. I had the Panthers on the Patriots. So Patriots games they won by 4 or fewer. You're asking is let me see. So they won by 6, so that doesn't count. Blowout. So they won 23-20 against the Bills.
Okay. Well, you can let me know by 4 or less, and then the games that fell into 5 or 6.
Okay. Well, they beat the Falcons by 1.
Okay, that's 2.
That's 2. Then they beat the Ravens by 4, so that's 3.
3.
And that's it, except for not counting the playoffs. That's 3, not counting the playoffs.
Yeah, don't count the playoffs. Yeah.
Okay, so
that's
five
pretty good. So that's 11. So that's 11 wins by more than 4 points. How many fell into the 5 or 6 or overtime category?
So they beat the Saints by 6, so that's 1.
Okay. Right.
They beat the Buccaneers by 5, so that's 2.
Okay.
They beat the Bengals by 6, that's 3.
That's 3.
And that is it.
So that's 6 out of 14. So that's 8 wins by 7 points or more. That's pretty good. But that's what the schedule suggested that they might do. Because remember, their season win total was 8.5. So they had 6 wins. I think I said by.
They had 8. No, they went.
I think 6 by 7 or more.
They went 14-3, right? So they had 6 wins by 6 or fewer. So 8 wins by 7 or more.
Yeah, 8 wins. Yeah, and that's. Obviously the 8.5 number was a reasonable number, and you're not going to win all 8.5 by 6 or less. You're going to win some, by more. So yeah, so I could see New England falling back a little bit, but that's why I'm passing.
By the way,
I think 8, 9, or 10 win. Or I say 8, 9, or 10 is a reasonable number.
By the way, we said they won
We
eight
said
games.
9. Yeah.
They won 8 games by 7 or more. It's actually 8 games by double digits because they didn't have any wins by 7, 8, or 9 points.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Am I the only here? We have some people watching. They're just not commenting yet. So Ricky, thanks for joining us. Do you have any thoughts on teams to bet to make the playoffs or miss the playoffs? Just let us know. Okay, so the final team in this division, we have the Miami Dolphins. They are 15-1 to make the playoffs. Not high enough. And then to miss the playoffs is minus 4,000. If you add that to our parlay with the Bills, it actually goes up. It goes from minus 320 to minus 331.
Yeah, that's the impact.
Yeah,
that's a pass for me.
That's I think you said that last year. It's like the stupidity tax on the parlay.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably going to win it, but it's not a 100% or even a 90. It might be 85 to 90% with those numbers. What'd you say? Minus 5,000, 4,000, something like that.
Minus 4,000. It makes your parlay worse. So somehow I don't know how. But.
Yeah. No, I let me see what my numbers here are on the Dolphins. The Dolphins. Well, the Jets I had plus 1,000 minus 1,700. So I actually have a better number for making the playoffs, at least as of July 2nd. Miami is plus 1,250 minus 2,400.
Okay. Well, minus 2,400 sounds better than minus 4,000, but really it's not something you can bet either way. So
yeah.
All right. So you're nothing on Miami. You're not enticed by the 15-1 to make the playoffs. I'm
going to pass on New England and Miami. Again, these numbers reflect it. I mean, when I look at these numbers for the most part, if they're minus like 1,000 or more, I'm not even going to look at laying that kind of juice, even in a parlay.
Yeah.
Okay. Same. But if you're minus like 220 or 340, I might look at a small parlay like with Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I look at it as playing a heavy favorite in baseball in a parlay. Remember that, and I've shared the math. If you take, I'll use baseball as an example. If you take two teams each minus 200, and you put them in $100 parlay, it's like playing a plus 125 underdog.
Sure, makes sense.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get 100. You bet 200 to win 100, and that's 300, and then 300 to win 150 is 450. So, it's a little bit different than that, but yeah. Does the value minus 4,000 increase? It does, but by very small amount.
Well, it should, but let's see. I added Baltimore to this parlay just for fun.
What's Baltimore?
Minus 320 as well. So we're just about to get to them. The parlay goes to minus 141. So let's put in that minus 4,000 and see what happens. It goes to minus 132. Okay, so it gets a little bit better. I don't know why.
Yeah, but the point is, you're still laying money. Yeah.
Right.
Even with a pair of 320s, you're still laying over a unit.
Yeah. So this is funny. If you parlay Baltimore and Miami, the number does go down as it should. But if you take out Baltimore and put in Buffalo, the minus 320 turns into minus 331. I think it's because there's there's positive correlation here because the Bills make the playoffs in the division. That means Miami is.
I'm sorry. Which teams were you doing in the parlay?
Buffalo and Miami. And then I had the Baltimore, and the odds moved correctly for that.
Okay.
But for Buffalo, it goes from minus 320 to minus 331.
That's when you put Miami in there with Buffalo instead of Baltimore in there with Buffalo.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it's because of the positive correlation there.
Okay. Now do the following. Do a 3-teamer.
Yeah, I already did that.
Start with what does minus 320 and minus 380 pay?
I don't have a 380. I have another 320.
Well, okay. Do a minus 320 and minus 320. What does that pay?
It's minus 141.
Okay. Now add into the minus 141. Parlay that with a minus 4,000.
Yeah, it goes to minus 132. I just did that. Yeah.
Okay. That's what. Okay. Yeah. Now, let me do the 2-1 example because I had the wrong number there. You bet $100 at 2-1, so you win. You're at 150. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was going to look at that. Okay, so now you've got you've got 150, and now you do that at 2-1, you win 75. So now you're collecting 225. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're collecting 225, And now the 220. So see if you can do this parlay. So you made 125 because you started with 100. So let's do $100 at minus 200. Parlay that with a minus 200, and then tell me what that's that's now the plus 125. Correct? You got that there?
I don't have. I have a 210. I have a 210 and a
No,
205.
forget that. I'm saying just do minus 200 and minus 200. This is just theoretical.
Oh, well,
Do minus 200 with minus 200.
How do I do that?
Well, that's no. I'm saying that's the price. That's like minus instead of putting minus 320 in the computer, put in minus 200.
What computer? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
What do you do? How do you get in your parlay numbers?
I'm putting in real odds here. Like,
what are you? Well, no. Well, I'm saying put in just. I'm doing this for an example. Put in the minus 200.
What minus 200?
Just pretend it's some team's odds.
I'm looking. There's no minus 200. That's why I said I could put in a 205 and a 210.
Okay. I understand. In other words,
210 and 205.
Well, what do you do? Click on the numbers? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. In other words, you're not. You got like a minus 320, right? So you're clicking on that. You're not writing in minus 320.
No, I'm not writing in anything. No.
Okay, that's the difference. I'm gonna beg out of here for a moment, and I'll get to I'm gonna get out to the answer. So hold on. I'm gonna switch computers for a moment.
I just put in 210 and 205 and made plus 108. So it's pretty close to what you were saying.
Okay. So plus 210 was it plus 210 and plus 205?
Minus 210.
Oh, minus 200. Okay, and then you got plus 108.
Yeah.
Now add in the minus 4,000.
Okay. It goes to plus 113.
Okay, that's how insignificant it is.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's $5. You buy a cheeseburger or something. Minus 200 is implied 67%. Combined is implied 44%. Should be about plus 120. Yeah, that's exactly. So I don't know if FanDuel is playing around. And you got to remember, they're factoring in some correlation here. It's not like two independent events. You have two teams to make the playoffs. Not that Patriots Dolphins or Patriots Lions have any sort of correlation unless they play against each other. But if you factor in some other teams in that same conference to make the playoffs, you're going to cannibalize your own bet because you're taking one of 7 spots already, so there's only 6 spots remaining for the other team. So anyway, that's that's what we came up with there. We're going to put back the Bills because that's where we're going to put our parlay. All right, the Ravens. Moving on to the AFC North.
Okay. Now they're the favorite over Cincinnati, correct?
Yeah. So we're going to start with the Ravens.
And what are they? I'm showing minus 400.
Wow.
And plus 325 on the no.
I got minus 320, yes, and I got plus 260, no. Let me check DraftKings.
Yeah. That was a circa. South Point is minus 380 plus 320.
Yeah, I got plus 305 for the no at DraftKings. So,
now what did we do with our season totals?
We did. You said 9.5. I said 11.5.
Okay. So 9.5 would be a likely, but not necessarily a playoff team.
Yeah.
There's between 9 and 9 might be 10. I won't say should be, but yeah, it should be probably. But what am I getting on the no on Baltimore? I'm getting plus 325. So I might do no at plus 325 as part of that Jets thing.
Okay.
Half unit, part of a half unit P. Okay.
That's
as of right now. We've only done 5 of the 14. So I haven't decided, P1, P2, P3 if I'm going to do it that way.
So I take it you do not want to add Baltimore to our parlay.
No. Okay. No. If I'm going to, I'm looking at, because the ones that I'm doing right now, I'm looking at most of these for straight plays.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say, for example, let's go to Cincinnati.
All right. Cincinnati is minus 198 to make the playoffs here on FanDuel. And to miss the playoffs, they are plus 166.
Okay. I've got them at minus 150 and plus 130.
Okay. On DraftKings, they are where are they? Minus 186. So
Okay, and at South
marginally
Point,
better.
I've got minus 180 plus 160.
Okay, so your best number is what'd you say? Minus 160 something?
Minus 150 on
150. Okay.
on the Bengals to make the playoffs.
Okay. That's pretty good. I would like to add that to the parlay.
Now the other thing is I've got where is it? Yeah, okay. Baltimore is plus 160 to win the division, and Cincinnati is plus 180. I'd probably prefer to play Cincinnati at plus 180 to win the division than minus 150 to make the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I agree. But do you want to put them in the parlay that we have with both?
Don't know yet. It depends on when we do when we finish all 14 teams, all 16 teams. That's when I think about putting a parlay together.
Okay, well, if you just wanted to parlay Buffalo and Cincinnati,
no, because I might end up having like 9 potential teams.
Oh, I know,
and I'm only going to have 7, so I don't know how I would want to play that.
I know. I'm just saying, if you just parlay Buffalo and Cincinnati, you get minus 110 already. So.
Okay, yeah. I mean, right now, of the 6 teams we took a look at, and of the 8 teams that we will end up looking at after this division, I've got 2 underdogs. 1 for a no, 1 for a yes, and those are like half unit plays, perhaps either straight or in a parlay. And then I've got the Buffalo and Cincinnati straight. I'm not. I will dispense with Cleveland right now. Or do you want to do Pittsburgh next?
I was going to do Pittsburgh. By the way, the exactas odds on the Bengals and DraftKings are unbelievable. Like, the Lion. I think Bengals to beat the Lions was 240 to 1. And I think the other way was even like 270 to 1 or something. It's pretty incredible. So I was pretty happy to see those numbers.
Did you play them?
I did, because I got the $250 in bonus bets with the $1,000.
Oh, okay.
Deposit.
Let me see what I have here at Circa for your visit next week.
Okay. Well, keep in mind, I don't want to spend any money on these. They're all free bets. So
yeah, if you got twice the price, would you?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Well, no. Okay. No, you're not going to get twice the price. Lions defeat Bengals is 180 to 1.
Okay.
And Bengals to defeat Lions. Oh, it's Browns I was looking at. Browns is 1,500 to 1. Bengals to defeat Lions, 195 to 1.
Okay. Yeah. The numbers I got Bengals to beat the Lions 240 to 1. I got Bengals to beat Rams 90 to 1. I got Bengals to beat the Niners 240 to 1. And then I got Lions to beat the Bengals 225 to 1. And that's all that's
what'd you do? A couple hundred on each, or
50 on each?
50 on each.
Yeah, I would like to do 100 on each eventually, but I don't know if I'm going to get the 100 in bonus bets that I can.
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's also I mean, the idea is to win, and whatever you put in there, you're going to get a nice return. So the more $50 plays, that's twice as many that you can make for every $100.
Yeah,
and you're always playing long odds, so you're never going to be at a point where 90 to 1 might be the smallest exacta play you make.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so who should we do next?
All right, let's do the Steelers. The Steelers are plus 158 to make the playoffs, and it's a bummer because I wanted them not to make the playoffs. They are to miss the playoffs. They are the minus 188.
Okay, I've got Circa plus 190 to make the playoffs, minus 220 to miss them, which is not a bad. Which for you, minus 220 is not a bad number. And for the South Point here, the Steelers are plus 175. The no is minus 200.
Okay.
Look, if you get better numbers here, you might want to actually do a cash parlay on, like those no's, or mix them with yeses there.
Yeah, I think I'd rather bet the under wins, because you get better odds that way. Like, what'd you say to miss the playoffs was? Because I got minus 188.
Steelers are. Oh, to miss the playoffs, you got what's your price on the yes?
To miss the playoffs is minus 188.
Okay, and to make them
plus 158.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm plus 190 to make them, and minus 220 to not make them. So I'm actually looking at plus 190, not plus 158.
Okay. Yeah, I got the better number here to miss the playoffs. Still minus 188 is not something I'm looking to tie up for 6 months. Even
no, but
if
you put it with a Buffalo and a Buffalo, but again, you don't have to. You can mix and match. You can put a yes with no's, right?
Oh yeah,
You could do Buffalo at minus 320. You could do Cincinnati at minus 150, and minus 220 on the. On the no for Pittsburgh, or you could mix it with let's say you want to throw Baltimore in there.
Right.
You could mix the Cincinnati yes with the Baltimore plus 325 on the no actually, and Buffalo on the minus 320. So yeah. You don't have to necessarily put yeses and nos together. And in fact, sometimes if you like them and you got, a team in a division with a yes, you can offset it with an offsetting team in that division with a no.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. The final team is the Browns. They are 7-1 plus 700 to make the playoffs. It's a little bit less than the Jets, and they are minus 1100 to miss the playoffs.
That's a pass for me.
What do you have over there?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me go with the South Point. The Browns are plus 850. Yes. Minus, what do we have here? Minus 1300. No. Circa has Cleveland plus 625, minus 900. No.
Okay.
I'm passing either way.
Yeah.
Again, 9-1 doesn't do all that much.
Right. You mean minus 900, right?
Yeah, minus 900. Yeah, well, that's 9-1. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That doesn't. Yeah, I agree. So it's
about 11%, I guess, a boost.
Yeah. If you add that to this, it goes from plus 157 to plus 182. Not nothing, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe Shedeur Sanders is the real deal. Probably not. But we'll see. Okay. So
what did we have for Cleveland's wins?
So this is before Garrett was you had 3 at 5.5, so I would adjust that.
I thought it was after Garrett.
No, well, I posted this number before Garrett, and then Garrett happened, and we redid the numbers, so I don't have it redone here.
Oh, okay. I don't know that we changed it all that. I certainly couldn't have changed it much worse than 3.
I downgraded my 5.5 to I think like 3 or 3.5 or something. So yeah, it's definitely going to have an impact. Anyway,
So I can't recommend that. I mean, 9-1. You're at the margin where the 9-1 doesn't. It helps a little bit depending upon the other teams in the parlay. But I would never consider laying that straight.
Yeah, the same. You don't want to tie up $1,100.
Yes, it's not the fact that you think you're going to win because you're probably a 90% chance that you will, if not higher. But why tie it up alone? Now, if you want to put it in a parlay, that's different because you still got that same 90% chance or whatever of winning, only because you're parlaying it with 2 other teams that maybe their chances of making or missing based on the odds are more like maybe 3 or 4 to 1 either way, especially on the making it. That the minus 900 will have a greater impact than if you hooked in a minus 2,000 with it.
Let me ask your opinion on this because this is something that actually happened. Someone screenshotted betting the Browns to miss the playoffs at I forget what the number was, but it was something like minus 1,000.
Right.
They put $250,000 on it. They did so on Kalshi, where they will earn 3.25% interest on having that bet.
In other words, that's what the payoff would give them, effectively 3.5%.
No, that's not even with the bet. That's if you bet on if you hold a long bet on Kalshi, they will give you 3.25% interest.
Oh, regardless of whether you win or lose?
Yes.
Or only if you lose?
regardless. They would pay you out 3.25% interest. Would you have interest in that if you got that sort of deal?
How much is 3.5% interest on that bet?
On $250,000.
Yeah.
Well, it's for the year, right? And they're holding it for 6 months, so it's gonna be
Yeah.
half. So 250,000 times 0.0325, and then divided by 2. That's $4,000. He's gonna make $4,000 on it.
So, and you're betting 250.
Yeah, he's betting
So you're
250,000.
betting, so you're effectively betting 246.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Win or lose.
Right. Yeah.
Right, because if you win, you're going to get the well. How much? How much was he betting the 250 to win?
It's minus 1,000. So let's just
So
let's
that's
do it
10 to
minus
1. So that's what, 25,000?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it would be like $22,000 ish. Yeah,
At minus 1,000.
yeah, minus 1,100 it would be 20.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So it'd be less than 25,000. Yeah, 22,
Yeah,
22,500, something like that.
yeah.
Okay. Well, 22,500 does pay for a nice steak dinner, airfare included, to go to London, Paris, and points beyond.
Right.
And he's got 5. He's going to get 4. So okay, so he stands to win effectively 26,500, right? 22,500 plus the 4,000 that he gets
Yes.
regardless.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't like it. I wouldn't have done it.
Well, and again, it comes down to, the percentages of winning are huge. But what can you do with that 250,000 over that 6-month period? Now, obviously, you could put it in the stock market, but there's great risk in the stock market. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you put it into your betting, you have a better chance of turning the 250 into 350,000.
Yeah, you could buy puts on leveraged ETFs and make a lot of money.
Well, whatever you do, well, even that. But there's risk in the stock market because it takes one significant world event to just send everything in the other direction,
Right.
Good or bad.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could always hedge out. Yeah.
Well, not if it happens, in the first 15 minutes of trading.
Well, no, I mean,
unless you're in the know.
Well, no, I mean, you can buy if you're buying a put, you could buy a long, you could buy a call,
Yeah.
a hedge call.
But then it may not work. The stock market may not move in the opposite direction that you need it. So,
well, I mean, you're gonna make money one way or the other.
Yeah, but you're gonna have more invested to do so.
Right. I mean, yeah. My point is, like, you're not going to lose the full 250 or whatever. Well, obviously, it's not going to go to zero anyway. But
yeah. No, what I'm saying that for 250,000 to earn 4,000 in interest and 22,500 if you win.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very small return. Even in other words, what's the return? What's the math on the? Well, let's see. We can figure it out. What do we say? 22.5. So we're talking about 26.5 works out to maybe about 10. Would it be 10%? It'll be a little higher than that.
Yeah, it'd be like 10.5% or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than a bank, right?
But it's not as good as doubling your money with basically doubling your money with a winning wager.
Yeah, right.
And even if you go 55-58%, you're going to win more on that 250 than you would with the Cleveland Browns missing the playoffs.
Well, yeah, and the elephant in the room is that what if the Browns make the playoffs? He's just out 250, which is like probably almost certainly not going to happen. But it's the NFL. It could. No one thought the Rams would win Super Bowl 99.
You have that kind. Okay, if you have that kind of money to wager 250,000 to make 22,500 or whatever we said it was.
Yeah.
You probably have enough money to do some hedging if it gets that late in the season and the Browns are in position.
That's true. Yeah, it's certainly true. Yeah.
So if you're listening, Elon, I still wouldn't do it.
It's Elon. He's trying to get back to being a trillionaire. He lost the trillionaire status. He wants
Yeah,
to be
what's
a
the
trillionaire
stock
again.
selling at now? I know it was below 150.
Oh,
a few days ago.
I lost money on not a lot. I lost a couple $100 today on the day trade because I really thought they're going to defend 135.
that they
Because
were going to do. Oh,
I thought the institutions.
how low
really,
did it go?
It dropped to 133.
Oh, so it's actually below the buy-in price.
Everyone is red, yeah, except for
Yeah.
the put people. I made money on the puts, but I lost money today on because I really thought they would defend 135 and maybe it'd go to 137, 138, but no, it just dropped. And
Well,
the
it depends. Yeah, it depends how much money is coming in on each side.
well, the lockout expiry is next month with when they first report their earnings.
Mhm.
That's when like all the janitors can sell their shares. So
All the what?
that's
the
when
what?
like all the
I'm
janitors.
sorry, you missed. Oh, well, Jan. Okay, yeah, no, you broke up there for a second. Yeah,
That's when all the janitors and everyone else can sell their shares. There's gonna be so many shares
the
hitting the
instant,
market.
instant millionaires.
Yeah. There are gonna be so many shares hitting the market. It's gonna be crazy. That's why maybe the institutions aren't defending it because they know that there's nothing to defend come next month because that stock's gonna plummet so hard. I think.
Yeah.
It'll
start to reflect the balance sheet
Yeah. So
and the earnings and projected earnings.
Yeah,
or
this is not financial advice, but I personally will have puts on Spaceman, not SpaceX, Spaceman.
What's Spaceman?
That's the 2x leveraged on
okay.
SpaceX. Yeah. Okay. Brandon says whenever it matters, England always becomes the 23 Falcons.
Oh, talking about the World Cup today.
I assume that's from soccer. I have 4-1 on Argentina. So
that was a great finish. I'm sorry.
I didn't see it.
For you English
I'm
bettors.
Not watch. Yeah, I'm not.
They tied it. I think in the last minute or two of regulation, and then they won it in the last minute or so of the extra time.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
It was exciting. It was.
Okay.
Like I said, it was exciting regardless of which side you were on.
Mm-hmm.
But it was either exhilarating for one and crushing for the English side.
Yeah.
Betting there. And those who bet the under, there's a chapter for your World Cup bad beat.
Well, I didn't watch the game, so was there? I bet the over.
Beat.
I bet the over on 13.5 players faking injuries. Did that hit?
Oh, you hit that like in the first 20 minutes, and I didn't even watch it.
No, seriously. DeAndre says, "Hey Walter, I know this live isn't an open championship stream, but thoughts on Justin Thomas 3-ball plus 150 versus Noren and Day? Let me tell you where I have them in my model. Justin Thomas. I'm not a big fan of Justin Thomas. Not
at this point.
He's 15th in my model. He's had that high because he is so great at around the green play, and that matters a lot here. So he's 15th.
Once you get to the green,
right,
and you stop smelling like cow poop from that rough.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, he's not matched up against good golfers necessarily. Noren, I have 44th in my model. And Jason Day, I have 46th in my model. So he's definitely a healthy favorite over those.
I was just going to say, how healthy is Jason Day right now?
Jason Day, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, he's another guy who's great around the green, but his approach game's terrible. I think it's worth it. I mean, plus 150.
I think plus 150 is reasonable for a guy with his experience, and he's done well in the Open in the past, as I recall.
Yeah, I like it, DeAndre. I don't
know how he's done on that course.
Well, yeah, the last time they played was 2017, and they renovated the course since then. So it's like you can't really look at.
But still same wind conditions and things like that.
Oh yeah. I mean the links, it's definitely a factor. I don't know if you saw the previous 4 British Open champions finished top 15 at the Scottish Open, which the week. Yeah,
before. I noticed that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, hopefully that happens again. A bunch of the guys I bet were top 15 at the Scottish Open. There's actually one exception, which was Russell Henley, and that's only because he never plays the Scottish Open. He wants to focus on the British Open, and it's worked for him because the past 2 times at the British Open he's finished 10th and 5th. So, and Henley's just great for this course. Did you bet anyone at the British Open?
I did not.
Okay.
Did not have time to. adequately handicap it.
Okay. I bet Fleetwood and Fitzpatrick and then some long shots. So
Now you got to have a nice little exactor for 1-2 if you had bet Tommy Fleetwood and McIntyre because you had a Fleetwood Mac.
yeah, right.
Just a little thought there if you're looking to play 1-2.
That's yeah, maybe I should have done that. I didn't think of it.
Of course, it'll come in Mac Fleetwood, but that's okay.
right.
Nick Mac, what's the difference, you know?
Right. All right, let's jump to the AFC West because they had the next highest odds here.
Okay.
The Chiefs are the highest odds at -188 to make the playoffs, and to miss the playoffs, the Chiefs are +158. So, what do you have?
I would go with the yes at the. Let me tell you what I have. I have Kansas City -70 and +50 at Circa.
Okay.
And -70 +50 at South Point. So I would go with the yes at -170 as, you know, being a team that I would parlay. If it was a no, I would want a much better price than +150.
Okay.
Last year is a throwout year.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know my feelings about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go against Reed and Mahomes off of playoff-less season.
I don't want to go with Reed against Reed and Spagnuolo and the entire staff there. Bieniemy's coming back.
Yeah. I heard, by the way, I heard a funny stats like, oh, the Chiefs with Bieniemy so much better. And I was like, yeah, Bieniemy left in 2022. Well, who else left in 2022? It's Tyreek Hill. So
Yeah.
we'll see. My concern is with the defense. They lost their entire secondary. Pass rush is not very good. So I think, you know, I do like Spagnuolo. Maybe he can turn water in the wine there, but they were not good last year, and now they're worse.
So would you take the +150?
No, because I don't want to go against Reed and Mahomes off a playoff-less season. You know, they're going to be motivated and stuff. And we had a news report today saying Mahomes is going to be ready for Week 1, or at least
that's what I thought.
Trending to be ready.
Then why wouldn't you consider Kansas City to be in there with one of those parlay teams for the yes?
Because I hate their defense.
In other words, the fundamentals say no, but the intangibles say yes.
Yeah, I hate their defense. Yeah. I hate their receiver core, and I don't trust the offensive line. They have a couple of great guys on the line, but overall, I don't trust the line. So, you know, and Mahomes, by the way, Mahomes has not played well the past 2 years. Like he is third worst in accuracy from 10 yards downfield to open receivers. Mm-hmm. And the only guys who were worse than him were Michael Penix and JJ McCarthy.
How about Brady Cook?
I don't think he had
enough attempts.
Yeah, he had enough attempts. He would be the all-time worst. Yeah. Yeah. So there are definitely some big wars here with the Chiefs. But again, it's hard to go against those guys.
So then you would probably pass on this.
It's a pass, huge pass for me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're gonna.
I'm writing down. I didn't write down what you had done.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down what I had done, and I have yes, and it'll be it will be a part of a parlay. Okay. Haven't decided with who yet. We got a few more teams to go over.
Okay. Well, the next team's the Chargers. To make the playoffs, they're -166, and to miss the playoffs, they are +140. So they could be. I figure for me. Or you tell me what the odds are, and then we'll talk about it.
At South Point, the Chargers, and just to give you a frame of reference, these opening lines were as June 12th. The current lines I'm reading are as of July 7th, so that's basically a week ago. Okay. And the Chargers have not moved. Open -190, yes, +170, no. And at Circa, which these lines are also of July 7th, the Chargers are -185 and +160. And I like the Chargers. You know, Harbaugh, once again, first 2 years made the playoffs.
Yeah.
This doesn't, these are not, I'd like to see, so I'm going to go yes. And what were your numbers?
-166 on the yes. So even better there.
Okay. And I had -185 and I had -190. So -160. What'd you say?
-166.
166. Okay. Yeah, that would be a parlay team.
Okay. Yeah, I put that in. Think about last year, how many injuries they
See, right
had.
now I've got one. Forget the Jets, but I've got Buffalo,
Yep.
Cincinnati,
Mhm.
Kansas City, and the Chargers
Okay.
as my 4 teams that I'm willing to put in a parlay at a minus price. I do have the Jets as a long shot at a plus price. I do have Baltimore as a plus at a long price, and I have Pittsburgh at a plus price. But those are all like half unit plays.
Right.
So I really have effectively, if I'm betting on a plus, I'm betting on a team that's not expected to make the playoffs. But of the teams that I would think in a perfect world, I would have 7 minuses when we're done with all this.
Right.
Okay. I may end up having 6. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, think about how injured the Chargers were last year.
Yeah.
And they still made the playoffs.
It's like the 49ers.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's kind of like I say, Tennessee is a team that, and the Raiders are both teams that will be improved, but it won't be. I don't believe it'll be reflected in the win-loss record. Although I'm a little bit more optimistic with what I said, putting a half unit on the Jets to make the playoffs. And in the same way, as far as the prospects for making the playoffs, the 49ers and the Chargers are very similar to the extent that they endured a whole bunch of injuries last year and still won double-digit games. And with my combination for the Super Bowl, at least one of them, with the Bengals and the Cowboys, those are 2 teams that did in the offseason what they needed to have done to complement 2 outstanding offenses. So there's a lot of comparisons of teams that are very similar. Now, if there's any correlation between that and what they do in the season, we don't know. But at least going into the season, these correlated teams seem to have those similarities and might be worth either place on or against them. Although the 6 that I mentioned are all positives: the Cowboys and Bengals, the 49ers and Chargers, and the what was the other one I mentioned? The the Cowboys and what did I say? The Cowboys and Bengals, the 49ers and the Chargers, and the Titans and Jets. Okay. I'm sorry, Titans and Raiders.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The Broncos are to make the playoffs. The Broncos are minus 142.
Well, by the way, what were our numbers on the Chargers? Our totals?
Let's see. I think 12 and 13. Let me see. Yeah, 12 and 13. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And the Broncos?
10 and 9.5.
Okay, I had the 10. You had the 9.5.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead with your numbers.
Okay, the numbers for the Broncos to make the playoffs, they are minus 142 to make the playoffs, and to miss the playoffs, they are plus 120.
Okay, I have let's see, South Point. I have Broncos minus 30, yes, plus 110, no, and I have at Circa minus 130, plus 110, no. Mm-hmm. I don't have a strong enough opinion to play either side. I think those numbers are reasonable because I think Denver remains a now remember, they were 14 wins last year. Okay.
Yep. And
tied New England for the number 1 seed. When I look at Denver, I still like their defense. The offense is competent enough that was competent enough to get 14 wins last year. How easy or difficult was Denver's schedule last year compared to New England's schedule last year? They both ended up with 14 wins. I have to believe Denver's was considerably more difficult simply because of the fact that, I shouldn't say considerably more because Kansas City was, 6 wins last year. But the Chargers were a double-digit win team, just like for New England. Buffalo was a double-digit win team, but going into the season, we didn't know all that. But do you have those numbers? At least what your schedule strength showed last year for Denver versus New England?
Well, I don't
for the 2025 season.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know that they did play some easy games. Like they had, they played the Bengals without Burrow, right? They
Right.
played the Titans to open the season. They
Well, no,
they
yeah,
played
I'm
against
just yeah.
the Jets, the Giants, the Cowboys.
No,
They got the Chiefs without Mahomes the second time.
no.
Yeah, the Washington.
Well, I just,
wasn't with Mariota,
we
Raiders
can break
twice.
down every team for
Yeah.
easy and tough games. I'm
Yeah.
just saying overall what the numbers say, because that's still a relative number. You can find
Yeah, I
yeses and nos for every team.
I don't have the number in front of me, but this
Because
does not
I was
look-
going to say, like, if New England had the 32nd easiest schedule, maybe Denver had the 13th, maybe they had the 23rd.
It looks like 20-ish easiest. Or no,
Okay.
sorry. It looks like a schedule that is definitely easier than tougher.
Last year's.
Last year's, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Brandon's saying Rams Texans Super Bowl. That's
Could
you
be.
can get a decent exact on that. It's
Yeah.
probably 65-70 to 1. I think I saw that on DraftKings earlier.
Well, let me see what I got here.
Okay.
What do I got? Rams, Texans.
Yeah, I just saw it. I wasn't gonna
Texans and Rams.
Yeah.
94 to 1. Texas over Rams.
Oh wow. Okay.
Rams over Texans. 70 to 1.
Okay, maybe that's what I saw. Yeah.
That'd be interesting, because if that was the matchup, I would right now on the surface of it, I'd favor the Texans.
Okay.
Unless we see an outstanding defense, and we could from the Rams. Because the problem I have with the Rams, and I love that team last year, I had them as my top team, but the problem I had was the way their defense wore down at the end of the season.
Yeah, they made some really good upgrades on defense, and they might be getting Aaron Donald as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, that's also a big thing, and I still think he's going to come back.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But you know what? If the Texans are in the Super Bowl, that means Stroud has at least played somewhat well.
That's what I mean. Yes.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, look, they could win 13-10, 13-7, 16-13 in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, let's hope
that would make
like
them just that much more fearful, against the, but again, it would depend who they beat. If they win 13-7, 13-10, 16-13, and they did that against Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, and Joe Burrow,
right?
That's pretty impressive for the defense.
That's true. Yeah.
Matt Stafford, big deal. Look who we beat in the playoffs to get there.
Yeah. That's definitely true.
So,
and they'd be in a big underdog, because like all the Texans can't score. That would be the narrative,
Yeah.
But the other team's not going to score.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be like the baseball All-Star game, 2 safeties last night.
I didn't know. I heard Caminero got hurt. So
that who?
Junior Caminero got hurt with the ball hitting his hand. That's the only thing I heard about it. Yeah, that would be low. Yeah, it would be another low scoring Super Bowl. You're right. It would be like 9-0 again at halftime.
I'm probably going to pass on Denver, because what we say, we had 9.5 and 10, and that's like borderline playoffs. And I think their will or won't make the playoffs is priced that way, exactly where it should be.
I think they're a coin flip to make the playoffs, and so +1.
Well, the numbers say that they are slightly more of a favorite. So, in other words, if you look at the season win total, what's their season win total? I think it's let me see here.
I think it's 9.5 or 10.5.
Yeah.
I think.
Let me see here. Broncos are 9.5 is the median one that I have. 8.5, 9.5, 10.5. So 9.5 is basically. It's almost close to 10-7, because the over, the make the playoffs with a win total of 9.5 is the -130.
Right.
So it's more likely that they will than they won't, which means, at least in theory, more likely that they go 10-7 than 9-8 to make the playoffs. So that's a good number. I have to pass.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're 50-50 to make the playoffs, and they're +120 to miss the playoffs. So, whenever you get a coin flip at +120, you take it every time, I think, but not when you have to wait 6 months for the payout. So I think I would pass on that. DeAndre saying
I would also lean the yes, that they do make the playoffs, because again, I like to go with defense, and they and the Chargers probably have the two best defenses in the division, but the Chargers have a new DC.
Right. The other says I might put some money on Bijan receiving overs, 574.5 on DK. He had over 800 last year. Tua's top 5 quick throw rate. Tua just checks it down all the time. I definitely like that a lot.
Yeah.
574.5 seems very doable.
I could see. In fact, you might want to play because I could see that number, go up when they start when the talking heads really start going into each team's chances, and they'll talk about Bijan and Tua and how that will impact the passing game more than perhaps you might otherwise think.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, good analysis.
Yes. All right. So the Raiders, they are plus 500 to make the playoffs, and to miss the playoffs, they are minus 720.
I have the Raiders plus 550 yes, minus 800 no.
Okay.
At South Point, and at Circa, I have the Raiders plus 600, minus 850.
Okay. Do you want to add the Raiders to the parlay, or are you going to bet them?
I could put them in. What's your best number on the no?
Minus 720.
Okay, and I've got minus 800 and minus 850, so minus 720. Yeah, I'd put them in there.
Okay, I'm not so sure. They have
I
such a
would
tough
mainly
schedule,
because the three teams in their division are better than they are, experienced quarterbacks, and have higher win totals and experience because they all, Kansas City, they didn't make the playoffs last year, but they're still a playoff roster and a coach, and the Chargers in Denver, again. So I think that, if I'm willing to lay, what did I say? What was the one? What was the one that was 900? I said. I forget which one that was.
I'm not sure. Was it the Jets or no?
No, it may have been the
the Browns. The Browns.
No, it wasn't the Cleveland Browns. It was somebody else that was close to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I remember. No, that was I think it was one of the comments who talked about minus 900 or something.
Oh, okay.
I think. I'm not sure. Let me see.
The Raiders. So if you add Raiders to this parlay, it goes from 307 to 348. So
that's
sure.
a plus.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, plus 307 to plus 348. I'm not sure if that's worth it.
It is only because, again, when you think about, are 4 teams going to make the playoffs from the AFC West?
Well, I'm not sure if Broncos or Chiefs make the playoffs. That's the thing. Like, the only team I'm sure about in that division is the Chargers.
Okay.
I
would say it's strongly likely that either the Broncos or the Chiefs will make the playoffs in addition to the Chargers. Okay.
I don't really feel that strongly about that.
But I would say, I would have I'm trying to remember who I said the no in there. Maybe I just use that as an example. We were talking about somebody. I thought it may have been somebody who had made a comment, but it may have been talking about the guy who laid the 1,000 or whatever on the 250,000. Maybe that was part of that discussion. But I think it actually was, because I think we did the math about 10% or something. I like I said, I think the Raiders. Well, look at their season win total compared to the other 3 teams in the division.
Yeah, no, it's low. I get it. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but I don't know. I mean,
minus 720 is part of a parlay.
Yeah.
And I don't know what. I don't know what the Circa rules are here. I'll find out next time I go there. I'm going to be there Friday. But I would put the. Well, right now I would look to put the Raiders in there. Okay. Because I do have, right now that parlay on the yes would be, or on these numbers would be Buffalo minus 320, Cincinnati minus 150, Kansas City minus 170, Chargers minus 166, and then the no in there would be Vegas minus 720.
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying, Chiefs having Rice for a full season helps. The team is aging. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if they have him for the full season, for sure. But he's a guy who always gets in trouble. He always gets hurt too. Like, it's so hard to count on him. I don't know if they can. So
Yeah, but I mean, can you really handicap these by putting a percentage of likelihood of a player being injured, other than just accepting the fact that, yeah, he could be, but he might not be? Look at the people who thought Christian McCaffrey would miss time for the 49ers last year.
Yeah, but McCaffrey,
which was uncharacteristic.
McCaffrey doesn't also get into trouble off the field too. Like, you have two things with Rice that you have to worry about.
Has he gotten off the trouble every season, or just 50% of them?
It's been I don't know. It's maybe 50%, but 50% trouble, 50% injury. You're like, it's the odds add up. I don't know. He's really good, but it's so hard to trust him. But anyway, all right, let's go to the final team in the AFC.
Unless there's somebody who gets injured every year, virtually every year, like 8 out of 10, I can't factor it in there, because anybody could get injured at any time on any team.
Yeah, remember Fred Taylor? His nickname was Fragile Fred,
right?
And then he had 3 years late in his career where he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, so, which is exactly the opposite of what you would think.
Right.
As your career ages, extends, the likelihood of injury. Maybe you said I'll get him out of the way early.
Yeah,
I'll be productive at the time of the career when people might want to think about me for the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I'll have great seasons.
Yeah. All right. So the AFC South, we have the Texans. The Texans to make the playoffs are minus 162. To miss the playoffs, they are plus 136.
Okay. I have them. I'm going to put them down as a yes. And I'm going to take, let me see, I got it on Circa. It's minus 160 yes, plus 140 no. And for Houston on South Point, minus 55, plus 135. Okay. So I'll put down the yes, minus 155. I think they're the best. I like Jacksonville. We'll get to them in a moment.
Yeah.
But because of the defense of Houston and their history over the last few years with double-digit wins, I mean, they won 12 last year, even though Jacksonville won 13. The defense returns, a lot of carryover. I have to believe that Stroud will be doing well enough to, if he does well enough to start 17 games, he's had a good season. If not, we'll see Davis in there sooner rather than later.
We'll see. I mean, yeah, he's gotten worse, but
I think isn't Stroud playing for a contract extension this year?
Yeah, it is coming up, but I mean, he has a better offensive line now that should help.
Yeah, and a better running game.
Yeah, Tank Dell, right? And Tank Dell, we will see. Maybe he comes back. Higgins in his second year, Noel in his second year. There's a chance that he rebounds. We'll see. Facing first place schedule versus second place schedule has to have an impact. Yeah, it is. It's definitely. Definitely
I don't know how much it does in the AFC.
No, it's a positive. It's a positive to place first place, because
say that again.
It's a positive to have the first place over the second place, because
this year it is.
This year, yeah, because you get Steelers instead of Ravens, you get Patriots instead of Bills, and you get
Broncos instead of Chiefs or Chargers.
Broncos instead of Chargers.
Well, actually, instead of Chargers, because Chargers finished second. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Those all three are easier games.
Although at the same time, all 6 of those teams made the play. Well, no, Pittsburgh didn't make the playoffs, but 5 of the 6 made the playoffs.
No,
I'm sorry, Pittsburgh did. Ravens did not make the playoffs.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
but they're still they're still a playoff caliber team.
Right. So yeah, that does help for sure. So do you want to add the Texans to the parlay?
Well, I'm not adding it to the parlay because I haven't decided on who's into my parlay yet. But it will be a parlayable team. Yes.
All right. There'll be a placeholder here, as it moves to plus 613, which is nice. The Jaguars to make the playoffs, they're minus 108. It's a very low number. And the Jaguars to miss the playoffs are also minus 108. So minus 108 for both. Okay.
I've got the Jaguars at South Point minus 15. Yes. Minus 105 no.
Okay.
And at Circa, I've got them minus 105, yes, minus 115, no.
Okay.
And then my thoughts there are just like Denver. That I think it's probably, we don't have the experience of Jacksonville now that they're a team expected to do well and contend for, well, a second straight division title and a playoff. I can't have great confidence that we don't know, despite all the things that we saw and the great year that Trevor Lawrence had, that might not yet be a one-year wonder, to the extent that maybe in the off season people are able to find out why all of a sudden he flourished and be prepared to take away what he did best last year to allow him to flourish.
Mhm.
I like this team. I think I like them over their season wins, but at such a competitive price, I don't feel that make the playoffs, and I put them in the line of a Denver. So I'm gonna pass them because of the basically pick 'em qualities. And if I want to have a better opinion if I'm going to play a yes or a no, unless I'm going out on a limb and playing some long shots to show improvement, like I said, with the Jets and maybe with the Steelers.
But yeah, I feel stronger than you do about them. I mean, they were so much better at the end of the year when they traded for Jacoby Myers and then they integrated Parker Washington. They got Brenton Strange back from injury. Like the offense got so much better when they weren't relying on Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter. And the defense got better. Now the defense did lose Devin Lloyd, but they did.
Now, by the way, what you're saying is though, what I'm talking about is that yes, we saw them play well and improve throughout the season. How are other teams going to be making the adjustments to that now that they have to, I won't say fear Jacksonville, but respect Jacksonville more this year than they did through most of last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely.
In other words, let's say opposing teams who have Jacksonville on their schedule, okay, they're going to do a lot of preparation for Houston. That's a good team that they have to contend with. We probably don't have to spend all that much time against Tennessee or Indianapolis. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, we have to spend time going against a Jacksonville team that we put in last year, let's say the Tennessee class and maybe the Indianapolis class.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, everything you say is good, but the reason I say I'm passing here is because I think the number for making a missing, as we saw, one of my books had minus 15 on the over, 05 on the under, and the other book had exactly the opposite. That's almost as close as pick 'em as you can get, other than both being minus 110 either way. And that's a pickup. And, do I want to time my money up for the season on a pick 'em? Well, let me see what the division prices are on Houston. Houston is plus 45 to win the division, and Houston and Jacksonville is plus 345.
Yeah, that's a good number.
I'm sorry, plus 185.
Oh, okay. I was about to say 345. Let me bet that right now.
So either way, you've got a profit.
Yeah, right. We talked about that.
I'd rather play in the case of Jacksonville. I'd rather play them to win the division than I would rather to have them make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Even though I am also playing Houston to win the division because it's a locked-in profit. It's just a question of how much.
Yeah.
Do I make 145 or let me see, what was it with Jacksonville? I would. They are plus 185, so I'd make 85 on that per 100 versus Houston, where I'd make 45 on that per 100.
I'm just happy that FanDuel has minus 108 both ways. I usually don't see that from them. That's nice.
16 line, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna move the Jaguars to this playoff, and we get the negative correlation with Houston. So this rises to plus 1659, and so we'll see.
Now who's in the playoffs now? You got Buffalo, Cincinnati.
I got Buffalo to make it, Cincinnati to make it, Pittsburgh to miss, Chargers to make, Texans to make, Jaguars to make.
And what does that all pay? That's what, 5 teams or 6?
It's 6 selections plus 1659.
Plus 16, so 16 to 1. Okay.
Yeah.
And all of those are reasonable. I don't have any value issues or anything with any of those 6 teams the way that you have them.
Yeah. All right. The 2 more teams in this conference, we have the Colts to make the playoffs is plus 168, and the Colts to miss the playoffs is minus 200. So what do you have?
I have the Colts at South Point plus 65 yes, minus 85 no.
Okay.
And at Circa, I have plus 55 yes, minus 180 no.
Okay.
And by the way, according to Circa, it is not the Indianapolis Colts, it's the Indianapolis Colts. They spelled it wrong. INID
Nice.
instead of INDI.
Was that ticket cash then? Because it's not the team.
It'd probably be a refund if they did anything,
Right.
but
Okay.
it won't
Okay.
be. Although, I suppose some asshole who has no life might, if they didn't if they didn't hit the side that I wanted, could say, no, there's no such thing as the Indianapolis Colts. I bet on something that didn't exist. I get my
Right.
money back. On the
Would
other
they-
hand, if I'm right, give me the money.
Do you think they would do that?
No.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so I was thinking, do I want to put the no in there, not at that price, because we don't know with the Daniel Jones situation,
Yeah.
how he's going to be. He's coming off a tough injury, so I got to pass this one. And all things being equal, I would probably lean to the no, based upon my opinions of Houston and Jacksonville being better. Much better. Despite my reservations about Jacksonville, part of my concern is the unknown factor of, can they play like they did last year late in the season?
Yeah.
However, if they can, they're a playoff team. But because of the uncertainty issues that I was concerned with, how will teams adapt and everything, asking a team that came out of nowhere, you normally expect a regression, like I said with the Patriots. So Jacksonville won 13 last year, but it's possible that because the Patriots weren't really an experienced team for the few years before that, because Belichick had been gone for several years already, so it was a different Patriots team. Of course, Brady was gone before Belichick, but we don't know about Jacksonville. I mean, I like the fact, and by the way, and I've said it before, I generally like to be on coaches in second years. Okay,
Right.
as opposed to against them. But I also realize that the degree of confidence doesn't always work with some of these second-year coaches. Now, you could say last year Dan Quinn in Washington, but you had all that time missed by the most important player on the team. So you can't
Right.
really hold that against them as far as how they would have performed. So for the Colts, I have to pass because I really don't know. Just like I basically think I said when we did the win-losses, what were our numbers for Indianapolis because I think they were all very tentative, our win totals.
Yeah, we were not very confident in those. The Colts, you had 4.5, I had 5.5.
Yeah. So that was taking a pessimistic situation because we know how poorly they did late in the season, but how much of that was attributable just to Daniel Jones being out versus other issues that they had in the second half of the season.
Yeah, we have no idea what
Yeah.
Jones' status is. It's so hard to guess right now.
It's like I tell everyone, you don't have to make every bet. You don't have, I think Lem Banker was the one who said, hey, you don't have to bet every day. They play the national anthem every day. You don't have to make a bet every day just because like for people who are playing baseball tomorrow, because you got one game between the Phillies and the Mets, and unless you find edges in that game, and there might be some, I haven't seen. In fact, let me just check that right if I can call up there what the pitchers are. I think it is Scott against Nola. So that's a reason to pass the game, unless I can find a reason to play over the total, but I can't play over 9.5. Nola is not the same pitcher. It's Nola. No longer admirable. Or New Orleans, Louisiana, either way you want to.
Right.
His brother Austin, same thing.
Well,
I like his brother Austin with the Dodgers catcher.
Well, I appreciate you reminding me that I need to set my So Rare lineups.
There you go.
Yeah.
Are they going to be playing tomorrow, or?
Yeah, they start
for the one game.
Yeah, you have to start. You have to fill out your weekend lineup for that one game. Yeah.
Oh, for those teams, or
for every team that for like the whole weekend. It's encapsulated in the weekend, so it starts Thursday and Sunday. So
that's every week.
Yeah, it's twice a week. You got Monday through Thursday and then Friday through Sunday. But because this is the only game on Thursday, they included
Right.
it on the Friday through Sunday.
What
so.
happens though on weeks when you've got series that end on Thursday and series that begin the weekend series on Thursday?
It's still Monday through Thursday and Friday through Sunday. So like if you have players on teams that play 4 times on Monday through Thursday, that's a big advantage than the players that play 3 times.
Yeah, okay.
So unless you
So
have like
so
Ohtani
maybe-
or something,
so-
you're not gonna.
Okay. Well, I think the reason why they did, you say it's what, Monday through Thursday and Friday
Yeah.
through Sunday is the general rule?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then the reason they did this is because there were no games Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so it makes sense
Yeah.
to start it on Thursday.
Exactly. Yeah.
It would be unfair to base. Now, what is it? You get they treat for each week. You score points for 2 different segments.
Yeah,
Or-
Monday through Thursday, you score points for whatever your batters or pitchers do,
Right.
and then whoever has the most points wins money. or
Oh,
top
okay,
10
yeah. So,
top 10
okay, so in
teams,
other
yeah.
words, you have 2 contests a week, Monday
Yeah.
through Thursday, and Friday through Sunday.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this one is different because there are no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it would be. Now, are you able to make? How often are you able to make adjustments to your team?
As soon as
Drop
the first
players.
game, as soon as the first game starts, the slate is locked. You cannot make
No.
changes.
How often are you able to make changes to your roster?
Well, you set different lineups, so it's not like a whole roster. Like you
No.
set,
Well, you or is this where you get to pick anybody on any day from any team?
yeah. So I'm just gonna pull it up. So the schedule, I set a couple lineups already a couple days ago. But,
If I understand correctly, then you can pick 100,000 people can pick Bryce Harper if they want.
No, you have
It's
to
not
have
a
the
draft.
You have to have the cards. You have to have these cards.
Oh, okay, that's the one that you have where you've got
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so I have for this main lineup here, I have Jesus Luzardo with
Okay.
Kitteridge as my closer or relief
Right.
pitcher. I have Ohtani here, Bryce Terang, Jordan
Now,
Alvarez.
how many
Alonso
cards
Valdez.
do you have for your team in that league?
So if I click Soto, I can replace them with
No, no.
any of these cards here on the right.
Why any of those on the right? Why are you limited to those number of cards?
These are the cards I have in my ownership.
No, that's what I'm saying. So you got 2,
Yeah.
4, 6, 8, 24, 25, 26,
Oh, it
27,
scrolls-
29.
it goes
You got
down.
30. You got 30 players. Oh,
Well, it
30.
goes,
what
it
is
goes
that?
down more. It goes down more. And
Okay. So you have let's say you have like 60 players you can choose from,
yeah.
and you can do that every day. You can choose which player. No, you have
It's
to do it
twice a
on
week. Twice a week.
twice a week. Okay.
Yeah.
No, so what I'm thinking, that's why it would be unfair if they counted Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because everybody would load their team with Phillies and Mets for the
Exactly.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah.
Right.
So and you'd all have similar players depending on how many people you had on the rosters from each team. Now, is your team American and National League
It doesn't matter.
combined?
It's
It's
combined.
combined.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you set your lineups on for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and this week it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do have to do that after we're done, but we're almost done.
Yeah, well, I've all day tomorrow to do it too because the
Yeah.
game's 7:00, I think.
Yeah.
So, I already set 2 lineups here. My second lineup not as good. It is a Yamamoto, who I would to see if he's pitching. Holton reliever, then McGonigal, Drake Baldwin, Pete Armstrong, Carl Armstrong.
Well,
Corbin
you can
Carroll
go
and
take a look at the
Murakami.
projected starters.
Yeah,
I know the MLB.com has the projected starters for all games of a series.
yeah. I just don't know if they've been released yet, but I'll have to see. So,
Well, they
Anyway.
probably will be tomorrow for what would be projected for the weekend. Now, of course, it might be a little bit different. They might have some more undecideds because with the All-Star break, you're able to, readjust your lineup for, your rotation for like 90% of the pitchers who didn't pitch Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, other than workout
Right.
stuff.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get to the final team in the division with the Titans. They are plus 390 to make the playoffs, and they are minus 510 to miss the playoffs. So, what do you have there?
I have for the Titans plus 435, yes, minus 575, no.
Okay.
And I have plus 455, minus 600.
Okay.
And I'm not sure I have a strong opinion on this one.
Really?
Well, it'd be kind of like. Well, it's kind of like Las Vegas, where I would include the no in there, but I think they're a better team. I think the same thing with Tennessee.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of the Titans this past couple of weeks, and
Yeah.
they were not a good team. They have gotten better though.
Yeah.
But it was really frustrating to watch them over and over again. Like they
Well,
they
no, wait.
covered.
You were watching what, games from last year or
Yes.
training camp stuff?
No. I was watching a lot of games from last year because many of the games, 3 of them, were in my bad beats book. So
Oh, okay.
I'm sick of watching this stupid team. I
Now
can't
of
take it
that,
anymore.
they were all losses. You're saying that, or were they
Yeah,
all? Yeah, they were all wins that should have been losses that the
well,
Titans had. Or
for the Titans, yeah. I'm never going to bet the Titans. They are an atrocity. They covered 2 of the first, I think, 10 or 11 games last year, and both those covers should have been losses. One was
Yeah.
the Arizona game, the other was the Chargers game, where they had a fluky pick six and then a punt return for a touchdown. The Chargers that gained them by like 1,000,000 yards, and yet they didn't cover the spread. So I'm sick of this stupid team.
By the way, just to give you an idea of how bad some of these teams are, and you can probably guess which ones. Well, no, actually, no, they're only bad teams. On Buffalo, you can bet them plus 950 to. You know what? I'll even go so far as to say, okay, even the division. Okay, you can bet minus 145 on the Bills to win the division, and you can get plus 115 on the no. For Miami and the Jets, you can only bet the plus 33.25 or plus 29.50. They will not win the division. Same thing for the Cleveland Browns, plus 1,900, yes, nothing for the no. The Raiders, plus 1,850 to win the West, nothing for the no. And finally, your Arizona Cardinals, plus 3,500 for the yes, not able to bet the no. You say also can't bet the no at Circa for the Super Bowl or the conference. See, the things that I've always mentioned, and this goes way, way back when I did a lot of work on this is probably in the late 90s, early 2000s, when season win totals were first getting notoriety. And I used to love it. And the way I explained it is, prior to that, you could only bet on things that teams will do, not that they won't do. In other words, you could always bet, oh, I think the Falcons will have a really good season because I like them to win the division or to win the conference or to win the Super Bowl. Now you can bet on the Atlanta Falcons to have a really good season by betting over the season win total if you didn't think they could win the division, conference, or Super Bowl. By the same token, however, you could not in the past bet that these teams could not win a division, a conference, or a Super Bowl, but if you thought they were going to have a bad season, but because they came out with season win totals, if you thought a team was going to have a bad season, you can now bet against them and that they will stay under their season win total. So I've always liked that about season win totals because it was one of the few ways that you could make a negative bet on a team. You now have that for basically 27 of the 32 teams. You're going to bet against them, but you have to lay some pretty huge prices. For example, for the Raiders to not win the Super Bowl, minus 42,500, so 425 to 1. But you can bet them to not win the conference, minus 300 to 1.
Right.
Not win the division, you can't bet them for that, but you can bet them to miss the playoffs at minus 850. So the introduction of season wins, and now Circa really, I think, I don't know when the offshores may have started, but I think Circa was one of the first here in Vegas. This is, I think, their eighth year in operation. One of the first ones to offer you the yes/no as far as division, which I always thought was fair. Regardless of what the number was, you should always be able, if you can bet on a team to win, you should be able to bet on a team not to win. It's only fair. Now, you may end up laying a ridiculous number. Now, for sportsbooks to avoid that kind of exposure, like your guy who bets the $250,000 on
my guy,
what was it, the Titans? To not make the playoffs, right?
Right.
Okay.
Browns, yeah.
The Browns, rather. Okay. Anyway, to avoid exposure, what, and that's why a lot of books here, I believe, don't do it. You can't parlay them. So in
Right.
other words, we can. Well, you can. I don't know if I can here in Vegas, but I can parlay some of them, and at least for teams that I think may have negative seasons, I could lay these prices. Although most of my negatives, well, let's see, my no, I got. Well, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 7 yeses, which is by coincidence because that's how many can make it, and I've got 1, 2. No, I'm sorry. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but really only 6 of them because the one yes I have is that long shot. No, I'm sorry. Actually, only 5 of them because my yeses on Pittsburgh and the Jets are long shots. All the others are favorites. Okay.
Mhm.
On the nose, I have Baltimore at a plus price, and I have Vegas and Tennessee at minus prices. Okay. So that's what I've done. So I don't know if I want to do, a 16 parlay on the yeses, or maybe what I might end up doing is maybe a five teamer on the no, is it 4 or 5? I think I said 4 that are minus, minus. No, I've got 5 on the minuses, so I might do 5 on those minuses, which are Buffalo, Cincinnati to make it, Kansas City, the Chargers, and Houston,
Mhm.
and then
Okay.
swing together the nose and mix them up with the other. What I say? I tell them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 teams that I've targeted for season for making playoffs or not making the playoffs.
Yeah. So this comment here.
Dolphins ain't making the playoffs. Easy money. What did we say? They're minus 4,000.
Yeah, to miss the playoffs, they
Yeah.
are minus 4,000. Yeah, it's
It
easy
may
money,
be easy. It
right.
may be easy money, but you're tying it up for a year, for 6 months,
Yeah,
and I'm not sure what the interest rate would be to win 100 for well, it's a $40 bet to win 140 to 1.
well,
But
I mean,
keep in mind, again, you're tying it up. You could roll that 40 to 1 that you're laying, roll it over that bankroll. Let's say it's
yeah,
$4,000 that you would play on the, or even $400. Let's say you have $400 to win. What?
$10, $10, like
$10. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, look, even if you want to win $100, like you have to tie up $4,000 for 6 months.
Yeah.
Like you could be doing a lot more things with your $4,000.
You could take that $400 and grow it into 6, 7, 800 with a 50, 54, 58% window of winning, depending upon your volume.
Yes. You could buy puts on SpaceX, for example, or Spaceman.
Well, if we just keep it to football, NFL bankroll, I'm saying that there are better ways to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to tie up your money on the Rams over the Lions at 200 to 1, that's one story.
Right.
Because the payoff is worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now your chances of winning, well, what are the possible combinations? I guess it's 16 times 16, because you have 16 teams that could defeat, and it could be reversed. So it's 16 times 16 times 2.
Right. 512. Yeah.
I think that's the number of combinations.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, so
and
that
your opinion on Tennessee, are you doing anything?
Well, if I add them to miss the playoffs, it goes from 1659 to 1775.
Right.
I don't think it's worth it. So look, they're going to be better this year. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think they're going to be good enough to make the playoffs. I don't think so.
Well, yeah. The question is, again, and Cam Ward, of course, now has some experience, and that is it. A lot of it has to do, and I think your answer is simple. Can they overtake Indianapolis? We don't know, because we don't know Indianapolis' situation. Are they likely to overtake or challenge Houston? Probably not. Are they likely to challenge or overtake Jacksonville? Possible, because of my unknown concerns about Jacksonville coming off last year. Although, again, I do like second-year coaches who have had success where success has not been before. But realistically, I know you would not do that, because you like Jacksonville even more than you like Houston.
A little bit.
So
more.
So you could not make a case for Tennessee at plus 500.
Minus 500. Yeah. I mean,
No, at plus 500 to make the playoffs.
oh, I think it was
Tennessee.
Tennessee. It
Talking
was
about
it was plus 390 to make the playoffs.
plus 390.
So even
Okay,
worse.
I think my Tennessee was plus
Even the
435
fours, yeah.
and
yeah.
plus 455.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, like Tennessee. Plus 435 and plus 455. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not touching
What was our win total on Tennessee, by the way? Just
it was 4.5 and 4.
how close? 4.5 and 4. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
And their season win total is, I think it's 5.5.
I think it's 5.5.
Let me see. The Titans.
Yeah.
No, 6.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I did like the under a little bit. Okay. Well, let's jump to the NFC then. So,
we're gonna do. What time is it now?
Oh, do you want to? Okay, we can save it to next week. I mean,
10:09. No, we could do another 90 minutes. Where are we now?
90 minutes. Well, yeah, I think we could do this in an hour. I think we could try. We could work.
Well, I'm
it.
saying that we could do it in 90 minutes or less. We've done it in 110, but we had a lot of interplay and a lot of things that we said. We don't necessarily need to, elaborate on as much because there are probably just as many teams that we won't have thoughts on in the NFC. Yeah, so we can do NFC, sure.
Okay, let's try to make this 3-hour show because
okay.
Some stuff to do like pay the bills. Okay.
No, not forget paying the bills. You got to do your baseball lineup. Start on it at least.
I know. I have to do that too. I have to proofread my
book.
No. I'd like to write. I'd like to finish Chargers Eagles, and then I have to proofread my my season preview for the Bears. Because they're the team that I'm posting tomorrow. So
are you on them or against them?
I'm pretty neutral to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, NFC West is the best. Rams get it. Yeah, let's look at the Rams number. Rams to make the playoffs.
Okay, we're going to start with that.
Yes, Rams to make the playoffs is minus 500, and for the Rams to miss the playoffs is plus 385.
Okay, hold on just a second here. Let me get that here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see which numbers are better. Okay, your yes is minus what?
Minus 500.
Okay, and the plus for the no?
385.
Okay, so 500 and 385, and I have minus 500 plus 400.
Okay.
At South Point and at Circa. Ooh, this is interesting. They use nice spreads. Minus 340 on the yes. Plus 280 on the no.
Wow.
So wild. I like the minus 340 here.
Yeah.
As a parlayable NFC team.
That's crazy. I wonder why they're so low there.
Oh, because you got Seattle and San Francisco.
Yeah, but still, I mean, compared to the other places.
Well, no, because when you've got two teams that can make the playoffs, I mean, we haven't gotten to the NFC North yet.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, where arguably you can make a case for 4 teams making the playoffs. In the NFC West, you've got 3 teams. And those, the 49ers and Seattle, won 12 and won 14 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Rams. I mean, I like the Rams. I think I like them over their season win total. Let me see what we had them at.
Yeah, and I added them to the parlay. They're now plus 2098.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. You got a lot of teams in there. Okay.
Yeah. Well, 6. Yeah. Maybe 6 from each conference. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I like to, those numbers are great, but you're talking about, in other words, if I had 12 teams, I might like to do 2 6-team parlays or 3 14 parlays because the idea is to collect. Okay?
Oh, I know. It's a fun $25 bet,
Oh yeah, but even so, I'd rather collect 3 smaller parlays than lose on one long one that has a long shot, because you got to believe that of the 12 teams together, you're not going to get them all right.
Yeah.
But you might get 7 or 8 of them. In which case, if you play 3 teams, nothing guarantees it. It depends where they fall in the number of parlays you do. But okay, yeah. So I like the Rams minus 340 as a potential parlay team.
Okay, Seattle's
How about
minus.
you? How about
Oh yeah,
you?
I put them in. Yeah, I put them.
Oh,
in.
that's right. You put them in there to increase it by a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, it increased
Seattle's
by 400.
next?
Yeah, it increased by 4
Say
plus
that.
400.
Oh, okay.
Seattle's next. They're
And
minus.
that's what, on $100 bet or a $50 bet?
That's just the odds. It moved from 1600 to 2098. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Seattle is minus 198 to make the playoffs, and to miss the playoffs, Seattle is plus 166. So 198, 66 minus plus 166. What do you have?
Okay. Seattle. Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say your minus was?
Minus 198.
See, here Seattle's minus 280.
Wow. Okay.
So it's
All
the
right.
other direction of the Rams, where
Yeah.
my number is better than yours. Here, my number is worse than yours. And what did you say the plus was on Seattle?
166.
Here, it's plus 235 to miss the playoffs.
Okay. Well, I don't like either one, really.
Well, let me. Well, let me see. Did I? Yeah, I mentioned the other one. Yeah. The Westgate is minus 240 on the yes, plus 200 on the no.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's a
I have
little
the
bit
best.
closer to San Francisco, Seattle here. Yeah.
I have the best yes at minus 198.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, look, if I had to bet, I would say yes, they make the playoffs, but they have the Super Bowl win, long season.
Yeah.
Teams are big gunning for them.
Major questions about the running game.
New coordinator. Yeah. It's although every single starter from the defense is returning, which is nice.
Yeah.
So there are definitely a lot of positives. Some downsides,
Well, you got a lot of defensive players returning on the Rams and the 49ers.
Yeah, and the Rams definitely got better.
Yeah.
This offseason.
I like this Seattle team, but then again, the lack of a proven running game, how much will that affect Darnold's ability?
All right.
Now that they may not be able to have the kind of running game that they had last year, although I do like the rookie, but we don't know about Charbonnet yet. Is this a team that's going to regress? Remember, this was a 10-7 team 2 years ago under the first-year coach. They didn't make the playoffs because of tiebreakers. So he's basically had a playoff team for 2 straight years, and they improved by 4 games last year, 4 wins. Mm-hmm. So this is a team still to be respected. Now, once again, I take a look at the other divisions. Okay, in the NFC East, I've got the the Cowboys and the Eagles as potential playoff teams. Mm-hmm. In the North, I have. I'm just going to start out with. I've got all 4 teams. Okay, as potential. I can differentiate between them.
Well, we disagree with that for sure.
No, I know we will, but I'm just going off the starting point. 4, okay?
Yeah.
I've got 1 coming out of the South. That's 5, and I've got 3 coming out of the West. So that's 2 plus 4 is 6, 7. What's that? 10, I guess. Because the teams I don't have would be Washington, the Giants,
the 3
the Falcons, Saints, and Tampa
Bucks.
Bay.
Okay. And the Cardinals.
And then the Cardinals, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's 6. Now, when we talk about the North, I would probably, right now, I'd be looking at, realistically, Chicago and Detroit.
Yeah.
If I'm going to eliminate the 4, it's probably the same one that you would eliminate, and that's Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure,
okay?
Yeah.
I would not eliminate Minnesota. I would not eliminate Minnesota despite the uncertainty at quarterback, because they still have some pretty good talent for the quarterback to hook up with, and are really the best defense in the division. Mm-hmm. And I think by a good margin. Okay, so I would still go with Dallas and Philadelphia. That's 2. I'd go with Chicago and Detroit. That's 3, 4. I would go with let's say the winner of the NFC South. I still think it's only going to be 1 team, whether it be but I could make a case for any of the 4 teams. But let's say it's Carolina. So that's 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 2 is 4, 5, and then I've got the 3 teams in the West.
Yeah.
So I've got 8 teams for 7 spots.
Makes sense.
Okay. So the question is, where do I put Seattle? And would you say you had Seattle at like minus?
198.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair number.
I think it's a fair number, which means I'm going to pass.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
for me.
What were our totals? What totals did we have on that?
We had
I think we had good numbers on that.
yeah. Where are they? Okay. 11 and 12 we had.
Yeah. Which both suggest easily making the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. You know what?
minus
But you know
198,
what? But you know why I have a trouble with the 198? Because I think, in my numbers anyway, coming into the season, based upon everything, I have Seattle coming into the season. Even I liked them a lot last year, I still have them behind the Rams and the 49ers.
Okay. Well, let's get to the Niners.
If everybody is healthy or has the same impact of injuries, I have it. I still have the 49ers ahead of the Rams.
Okay, let's get to the Niners. To make the playoffs, they're minus 154. And to miss the playoffs, they are plus 130. So
54 and 30. I have a minus 65 and plus 45 and minus 63 plus 43. So what's your number on the minus?
Minus 154.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I do too. They made the playoffs last year with like everyone injured.
Yeah. And they made it to the year before that. When they were healthy. And I think they made it for like 2 or 3 years out of the previous 4.
Yeah, they're coached extremely well, quarterbacked well, good defense if everyone's healthy.
And I like John Lynch as a general manager.
Yeah, and they added Mike Evans, So yeah, it's Pearsall. I think will be better this year.
Kittle will be back at some point.
Yeah. We'll see about McCaffrey staying healthy, but we never know about that. So I like the Niners here. The fact that they won 12 games last year with all those injuries is
well, I think I talked about it. I know I talked about it on a couple of shows, so I probably talked about it last week. I said one of the best coaching jobs ever was Bill Belichick with the 2008 Patriots when Brady went down in the first half of the first game and they still tied for the division title, lost out on tiebreakers for the playoffs. And the second one that comes to mind is what Shanahan did last year with the 49ers. Not only that, it's losing Brady as a quarterback is huge because he's first ballot. In fact, they don't even have to finish the first ballot. He'll be in before they finish counting the first ballots. But what San Francisco did last year with the significant losses on both sides of the ball.
What about when Rich Kotite won 7 games to start the year? That was great coaching because he overcame his own incompetence.
Well, I was going to say he probably got overconfident because he was awarded coach of the first half.
Yeah, I love the story about how he didn't go for 2. Did you hear about that story?
I'm trying to remember. I remember something vaguely about it, but I don't remember the details.
It was like, I don't know the score and the situation, but like he had to go for 2. It was very obvious, and he didn't go for 2. And then the reporter after the game asked, "Hey, coach, why didn't you go for 2?" And he said, "Because my 2-point math sheet got wet."
Oh yeah, okay. He was probably peeing on it.
Exactly.
Well, that's like my old. I forget if it was Bo Schembechler or Woody Hayes, Michigan, Ohio State, when they were up like 62-0 or something in like one of the late 60s.
Yeah.
And they asked, something like, "Why did you go for 2?" Because we couldn't go for 3.
Go for 3. That's one of the best quotes.
Because you can't cut. Yeah. Well, that is one of my, at least that I can come up with, 3 favorite sports quotes. The second one is the old one about John McKay when Tampa Bay started like 0-16 or whatever.
Yep.
And they asked the reporter, McKay said, "Coach, what do you think of your team's execution?" And he said, "I'm in favor of it."
So
and then the other one was Abe Lemon, the old Texas basketball coach, sitting down with one of his players who had just gotten his grades, and they thought he was going to end up being ineligible. And he said, "Son, sit down for a moment. Math, D. Science, D. No, I'm sorry. What was it? Math, math, D. Science, E. Geography, E. Social sciences, E. Trigonometry, E. Son, I think you're spending too much time on one class. Where you got the D. One of my favorite books. I got like 2 or 3 of them, and one of my favorite categories, sports quotes. They are hysterical by nature.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Lou Holtz when he coached Arkansas. He said, "Gee, living up there in the Ozarks and everything, it must be like living like at the end of the world." And Lou says, "Well, not quite, but you can see it from here."
And then I looked at Mike Tyson quote where he's like, "They called me a rapist and a recluse. I am not a recluse."
Yeah.
And of course, we had the Denny Green. They are who we thought they were, and that was the Cardinals. The Cardinals.
Go ahead.
The Cardinals are 20-1 plus.
Oh, yeah, that's what you were leading into. I was going to add the next quote with Herman Edwards. We play to win the game.
Yeah.
I love that. See, and I just knocked my camera off, pounding on the desk.
Oh, that was the.
It's only about the second or third time.
Yeah, it's not too bad. That's a lot better today. You were right about that.
Yeah. Oh, I got to help if I unmute it. There we go. Okay.
They are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook. So Cardinals, 20-1.
Well, of course, the other one is the famous Jim Mara quote: "Playoffs. We may not win another game."
Yeah, we're just trying to win a game.
Don't tell me about playoffs. Yeah.
Or
Sam Weich's quote, something like, what was it? This is not Cleveland. This is Cincinnati, or something like that. Or maybe I forget what it was, but it was some great quote. You live in Cincinnati.
Yeah. The Mike Gundy quote was that I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, I'm 40. Yeah.
Which is like at the time I was in college, like wow, 40 is
that's
so
old.
Long. Yeah, now it's in the rearview mirror, so it's kind of rough.
I won't be 40 till the 2020s. You were saying.
Yes, exactly. Wonder what the 2020s would be like. Was there gonna be hoverboards? And no.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, Cardinals are 20-1 to make the playoffs.
To make the plus 2,000, right?
Yeah, plus 2,000 to make the playoffs. To miss the playoffs, the Cardinals are minus 7,000.
Okay, I've got one here at South Point, same plus 2,000.
Yeah,
minus 6,000, so a little bit better if you want to call it that.
Yeah,
and at Circa. Plus 2,000, minus 5,800. Hey, that 5,800 is a bargain. Let me tell you.
My God,
I have to pass on that. There's no way. Even the minus 5,800 does not do much for your parlay.
Yeah, I know.
Unless you want to check it though.
You know what, people forget that the Cardinals started off on a high note last year. Like they were not that bad of a team. They won their first 2 games,
but they blew leads in both.
Sure. They still won their first 2 games. Then they lost to the 49ers.
Now, who was this? That was Carolina and New Orleans.
Yeah.
And if you remember, New Orleans was picked to be like the worst team in the NFC last year.
Yep.
And Carolina, I don't think, was far behind.
Right. They did get better, but not they weren't good.
Both teams got better, yeah.
Yeah, right. Then week 3, they lose to the 49ers by 1 point.
Right, and then they played a good game against Seattle.
Seattle lose by 3 points. And then week 5 was when everything went topsy-turvy because they blew their lead against Tennessee. Murray got hurt, and then that was it.
Is that like chapters 2 and 3 because there's so much to write?
I wrote about the Panthers-Cardinals game, and I wrote about the Cardinals-Titans game. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had 3 chapters on the Cardinals. So it was
which chapter involved the Cardinals win?
The Cardinals versus the Panthers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, actually two chapters on the no 3 chapters on the Cardinals because I wrote about the Cardinals Panthers and Niners Cardinals and Cardinals Titans.
Okay.
So that's
the 49ers was the game that they lost, the close game. It was like 16-15 or something.
The Niners, yeah. That was the
Cardinals.
That was the phantom safety game. Yeah.
That was the week 3 game.
Yeah. That was the fake safety. Yeah. Yeah. So that was bad beats all around. So anyway, so if I select this, it goes from 35.95 to 37.02. But you know what? My point is that like the Cardinals were halfway decent to start the year, and half their defense got hurt. So they'll be. I think they're going to be better than people think, but they're not going to be good, and they're not going to make the playoffs. So
Well, we don't know
not in
about
this divi- not
quarterback,
s-
what the
yeah,
situation with Brisket is.
right, exactly. And I have to assume we're going to see Beck at some point, and that's not going to be good. So I think we can
Well,
skip
we
this
think it
team.
won't be good, but I would
Yeah,
tend
you
to
never
think
know.
also, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. That's true. Okay. Let's go to the next team listed here is the Lions. So let's go to the NFC North.
Detroit.
Yeah, the Lions are minus 205 to make the playoffs. Interesting that they're so high. Not that I disagree with it, but and to miss the playoffs, they're plus 172. So I got minus 205 plus 172. What do you have?
Let me see. South Point, Detroit is minus 200 plus 175,
Okay.
and Circa is minus 195 plus 170.
Okay. Pretty close. How do you feel about the Lions
If
here?
I'm going to put minus what I say minus 195 at Circa, that might be a they're the Kansas City of the NFC this year, as far as embarrassing results last year.
Right. Yeah.
And they have the talent to do so. So I'm going to say minus 195 on the yes
Okay.
as a parlay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put that in the parlay as well. Okay, then the next team here is the Packers. The Packers to make the playoffs are minus 110, and to miss the playoffs, the Packers are minus 106. So again, a 16
interesting.
cent line. Yeah. What do you think? Or what do you have? What do you have, rather?
Okay, what do I have?
No.
Green Bay. Oh, wow, this is a weird difference. Minus 140 on the yes, plus 120 on the no.
Okay.
And Circa minus 140 plus 120.
Wow. Okay, so FanDuel does not like the Packers. Okay, so what are you doing with the Packers? I mean, we have radical.
What are our
the win totals?
So I think I was higher than I thought it'd been. Yeah.
I don't have that here for some reason. I guess I must have forgotten to
okay.
put that in. Let
me see if I have it here. Yeah, let me see if I've got it here.
Yeah, I didn't post the South and the North from the NFC. So
okay, yeah, let me see here. Indy. I had Green Bay 8.5. You had them 7.
Yeah, I actually bet the under 7.5 today.
Okay. Yeah, I think the 8.5 is about right on the most. I mean, can they go 9-7? I don't think I did anything when we did our season win total. Let me see if I've got that here.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit last week. I don't have anything written down as far as season wins on. Well, we did it 2 weeks ago, the first. I did not have anything written. The only things I wrote down were overs on Detroit and Chicago, nothing on Green Bay or Minnesota. Okay. So I think I would pass on this one because I think let me see what their season win total is. Would you play under 7.5?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The number that I show here for the Packers, 9.5. But you played a laddered one.
Yeah, I played under 7.5 plus 285.
Okay, and here they had the 9.5. Let's see, 9.5 minus 30, 8.5 minus 165. Those are on the overs. On the under 9.5, it's plus 110 and plus 145, and minus 195 on the under 10.5, and minus 45 on the under 8.5. I would tend to lean under the more than I would lean over on this one. But 8.5, I think, is a reasonable number because I think that I do have them when I do it again, looking at 8 or 9 wins, which would likely mean not a playoff team. Again, keeping in mind that there are probably 3 teams in the NFC West with better chances, 2 teams in their own division with better chances. That's 5. Mm-hmm. I will say, based upon the numbers, 1.5 teams in the NFC East because I don't think Dallas is still not being priced, I think, as nicely as they should be. Philadelphia certainly is. And then the NFC South. So, and I actually think, in fact, let me see how I did when I did the other podcast when we went over, because I think I ended up, when I did my division, I had, Chicago, Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay is my order of finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to Chicago then. Chicago to make the playoffs is plus 108. Kind of surprising that they're behind the Packers.
Okay.
And to miss the playoffs, they're minus 126. So plus 108, minus 126.
Okay, let me see what my numbers are here. Bears are minus 105, yes. Minus 115, no.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see here. Minus 115, yes. Minus 105, no. It's circa. So what's your plus on the Bears?
To make the playoffs is plus 108.
Yeah, I like that. Straight play.
You would bet it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it would hit too.
And once again, I like what Ben Johnson did with a raw quarterback. Let's call him Caleb Williams. I know they won a lot of close games, but who's to say they don't win those close games by small margins this year?
Yeah.
You have to believe that Ben Johnson knows where Williams was successful and playing well, and where he struggled, and he'll be prepared to have some more tweaks to his offense this year. And I like what they did defensively as well. So.
Yeah, I wish they added to their pass rush, but I mean, but so anyway, the final team in this division, the Vikings.
Are you doing anything with the Bears?
I think they'll make the playoffs. And plus 108. I don't know. I don't think so. Madden curse is Caleb Williams, is he going to succumb to the Madden curse?
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that, but okay. And then we've got Minnesota.
Minnesota to make the playoffs is plus 156, and to miss the playoffs, Minnesota is minus 186.
Okay, I have Minnesota at South Point plus 165, yes. Minus 185, no.
Okay.
And I have plus 190, yes, and minus 220, no. And I like the plus 190. I think that they average. Let me see what my numbers said on Minnesota. I think I may have upgraded my opinion. Yeah, I had 7, and you had 8 on them, but I've changed my opinion on Minnesota. I like them more. I've downgraded my opinion on Green Bay, upgraded my opinion on Minnesota.
What changed for you with Minnesota?
Well, just placing more emphasis on the defense.
Okay.
And the fact that I think Kyler Murray will, he's got those good receivers to work with.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, I mean, I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they go back to McCarthy, that's another story.
Yeah.
By the way, I made the dumbest bet of all time. I was looking through my old
McCarthy MVP.
Yes.
No.
I was gonna post it on social media. It's too late though. I made that bet last year in Las Vegas. I don't know what.
Oh, what McCarthy?
McCarthy MVP, yeah.
Last year.
From last year, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Minnesota.
You know what? He was so bad they ought to honor that ticket this year at that same price.
I should just show them and have them laugh at me. I thought because Minnesota went 14-3 with Darnold, and because Kevin O'Connell liked McCarthy so much, I thought, hey, what if this guy's really good? But he was awful, so I didn't even get a good number on it. No, it was a good number. It's just it
was like 125 to 1?
No, it was like 350 to 1.
Oh, 350, okay.
Yeah, so
no, when I took a look at Green Bay and Minnesota and I ranked Minnesota ahead, is because I do like that defense. That keeps them in games.
Yeah. That's definitely true. Flores is a great coordinator.
Okay. and I think it's by far the best defense in the division.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it's also the weakest offense in the division.
Right.
But if you can create turnovers, it negates that or mitigates that a little bit.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, the NFC East, the Eagles are the top team here. To make the playoffs, they're minus 156, and to miss the playoffs, the Eagles are plus 132. So, what do you have?
Okay. Eagles. I've got them. Yes, minus 65. No is plus 45, and at circa minus 55 plus 35, and this might be a half unit play on the no.
Okay, yeah, I know you're not, or you're bearish.
What
on,
was your play on the no? How much?
plus 136?
I have plus 145 and
132. Sorry, 132.
Okay, 130. I have them at plus 145, and I have the Eagles at plus 130 or plus 145. That might be. That is kind of like a long shot. It's kind of like it's not quite this. I just think this team is getting old, and I don't like, a lot of the roster and all that. Sirianni's okay, but not outstanding, and I think the rest of the division has made enough strides. What was season win total on the Eagles? 10.5.
Yeah, 10.5.
Yeah,
the
it's probably that's why this would be a. Let me see here. Yeah, Eagles are.
Yeah, the Ravens and Rams the only 11.5s.
Yeah, this. Get this straightened up here. This would be sort of like just if there's going to be a team that might not make the playoffs that everyone is thinking would be, I could see it being the Eagles. But I have to be right on Dallas, and I also have to be right on Washington and the Giants showing some improvement.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's some good things about them. They still have a really good defense. Yeah. They have a new coordinator. Maybe he should be a lot better than the other guy, if only by default. Yeah. Like AJ Brown's gone, which could be addition by subtraction because he dropped so many passes last week.
It could be, but it could also be, But what was it? Was he 1,000-yard receiver last year? I think.
Yeah, Devontae Smith outgained them though.
By like 6 yards.
Yeah. I mean, Brown dropped so many passes. I just watched. I'm in the middle of watching Chargers Eagles. He dropped the pass; it was turned into an interception.
How many passes did he drop as a percentage? Well, it's hard to say. As a percentage of ones that he caught.
I don't have the drop numbers.
He may drop a lot of passes, but he catches a lot of passes that other guys wouldn't catch.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the drop that he had against the Chargers was awful. It just like
it's where it happens. But he also made a lot of catches that helped in key situations as well.
Yeah, not in the playoffs though. He was.
Oh no, he had only one game.
Well, the most important game, he dogged.
But guys are going to have bad playoff games who have regular seasons that are great, and vice versa. It happens. You have to accept the fact that it does happen. You wish it wouldn't happen, and you can point to it, but that does not define his ability that he had that bad playoff game. That doesn't define him.
That's
like defining Justin Herbert as a lousy quarterback because he can't win playoff games, even though he wins double-digit games in the regular season.
Well, I mean, I'm not.
Because remember, you're also playing in theory. You're playing the better teams.
I'm not saying
better defenses for the.
I'm not saying Brown is bad, but Brown's a great receiver. But he wasn't. He was dogging it last year. He wasn't trying. Well, like he didn't. He showed no effort in the playoff game because, and then we found out that he really wanted out of Philadelphia, and I think that he threw the game on purpose.
Right. So even with all that, he didn't throw the game at purpose. Now, as poorly as he played, he still had a very productive year that 31 other teams would gladly sign up for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as he tries hard.
Well, no. That's what I'm saying. The fact that he didn't try hard and still was that productive is something that everyone else would go for.
I'm not arguing his talent.
And look, it's a locker room issue, whatever it is. May not have that problem in New England or anywhere else he would go. So.
At least not right away.
We don't know.
First couple of years should be great there, and then we'll
we don't know
what happens. I like him a lot this year. I've been drafting him a lot in fantasy. So, the Cowboys are.
So I'm taking a slight, like a half unit play on the no. I don't expect to cash it, but I think it's possible.
Okay, I'm not.
And it's not unrealistically possible.
Okay, I'm not touching the Eagles. The Cowboys are to make the playoffs. They're minus 104, and to miss the playoffs, they're minus 112. So I mean, well, I know you like the Cowboys, but
Now let me see what I have here on Dallas. -15, yes. -105, no. That's South Point and Circa. -120, no. I'm sorry, -120, yes. Even money, no. And what'd you say you had the plus at?
-104, yes. Plus
Minus
112,
-104.
-104,
Yeah,
yes.
I would take that as a yes. I would take that as a play.
Yeah, I know you like the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I'm less bullish on them, but I'm not there.
I mean, I don't know if I would make the play only because I've got the other future tickets on them, and I like the over the season wins better
Hmm.
at plus prices, and to win the division.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get to the next team. We have Washington here to make the playoffs. They're plus 215, and to miss the playoffs, Washington is -260. So don't mind the yes. What do you have for the Redskins, as I like to call them?
For Washington, what would you have the plus and the yes and the no?
Plus 215, -260.
Okay, I've got plus 195, -230,
Okay.
and plus 210, -245 on the no.
Okay.
Don't know if I would make a play, but I might lean slightly to the yes. And what'd you say the price was on that? Plus
210, 215.
Yeah.
215.
215, yeah.
Yeah.
I would lean to the yes.
Yeah.
Because you throw out last season, which actually helped them a little bit better in the draft because of the decline that they had. And the Cowboys have to fix their defense. Well, that's exactly what they addressed in the offseason, which is why I like them so much and why I was able to get in there early enough at a good number, because I anticipated that was going to happen. But yes, that's absolutely true. They and the Bengals have to fix their defense, and that could be a nice. I'd love to see that Super Bowl matchup.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Cowboys
yeah.
and Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the first 47-42 Super Bowl.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you'll be watching and turning your head. You'll have to go to the doctor for the neck inch sprain that you might have, but you'll have plenty of money from your exacta to pay for it. No, I would have expected Washington to maybe show a little bit of decline last year, coming off of that great, making it to the championship game. But you got to throw it out with the way the season unfolded with the injuries. I still think the nucleus of a decent team is there. I don't know if Deebo Samuel will be back with them. There's been some talk about that because I guess Ayuk is out of the picture now.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Dan Quinn, and I think the price from a team that made the playoffs 2 years ago, and they were like San Francisco, going from an injury-plagued year to a really good year after a really good year before the injury-plagued year.
Mm-hmm.
So Washington is in a similar situation because San Francisco was a good team for a number of years. Washington was not, but when you had Daniels as quarterback, that changed the entire complexion of their potential.
Yeah, Daniels is hurt. He got hurt a few times last year. McLaurin got hurt. Like everything, is a Murphy's Law basically for them. And I think that they will bounce back. I like the 215. I think it's a good price. They went to the NFC Championship. I mean, it's this is a team that
and remember they won on the road at Detroit when Detroit was 15-2.
Yeah, that was a great game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I might make a play on this. I'm not sure yet, but
Okay.
I would consider it.
No, the Giants.
The Giants are to make the playoffs. The Giants, where'd they go? They are plus 265 to make the playoffs, and to miss the playoffs, the Giants are minus 335.
I've got plus 290 yes, minus 350 no, and I've got plus 300 yes, minus 365 no, and I'm going to take a pass on that one. I think they will be an improved team, but I do have them ahead of Washington, but they're starting from a weaker position as far as the last few years are concerned.
Yeah.
They made it, what was Dable's first year, which was 2022, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they've declined since then.
Mhm.
Washington has gone the other way, notwithstanding last year. And let me just see what the season win totals are. The Giants are 7.5, and the Commanders are also 7.5. 7.5 over 35. Over is -35. Giants 7.5 is -110 each way.
Okay.
So they do rate Washington slightly better than the Giants.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
What did we have? What did we have for their wins, by the way? Giants and Washington.
For the Giants, you had 8.5. I had 6.5. For Washington, you had 4, and I had 7.
Yeah. So my opinion on Washington has changed upon reevaluation of it. My opinion on the Giants, excuse me, has declined a little bit because that would have had them going over.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
Fair enough. Okay. All right, let's go to the final team, or the final division, rather. And the best team, according to this, I assume, is going to be Tampa. Yeah, Tampa Bay to make the playoffs is +148. For Tampa to miss the playoffs is -176.
+148.
Yeah, +148 and -176.
Okay. I've got +130, -150.
Okay.
And I have +130, -150. Given their pedigree, I think even the +130 is playable.
Yeah, +148 here. Yeah, I mean, I can make a case for it. I'm not going to do it,
Yeah.
but I can certainly make a case for it.
I mean, and what did we find out that what Mayfield have last year? He played through like a partially torn PCL or something.
Yeah, PCL. He also had a shoulder issue later in the year, and then Ibuka got hurt too. So yeah.
No, I still think, again, with the pedigree that Tampa Bay has shown over the last 5 or 6 years with all the division titles, I think +130. Yeah, I mean, because again, certainly New Orleans and Atlanta, to whatever extent, have to prove that they're improved. Carolina, I think, proved a lot. I always bring it back to those 2 games against the Rams last year.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, they played in a weak division, and what was it, 9-8 that won, or 8-9 that won it?
8-9, yeah.
Yeah. So Tampa Bay is the one team over the years that's been, I think, reliable. Now, yes, they don't have Evans, but he is towards the back end of his career, still very productive. But and I think Tampa Bay is still a good defensive oriented team.
Yeah. All right.
So I'd make that a play.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I will, but I could be talked into it, I guess. I don't know. I'd rather do something else. Okay. The next team here is the Saints. Actually, the Saints to make the playoffs are +172. For the Saints to miss the playoffs is -205. Looks like some optimism here for the Saints, and we are optimistic about them as well.
Yes.
So what do you have?
Okay, I've got that South Point +195 to make them, -230 no, and at Circa +200, -235.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a pass on that one, largely because, again, these teams have to prove that they are worthy of making the playoffs, and I would have liked to have seen the numbers a little bit larger because it's a very competitive division, so you can't really go that large. I mean, I could, in theory, if I wanted to, I could rank these teams 1, 2, 3, 4 in any combination you wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe the one that I would have the most difficulty with would be Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Tua's the quarterback. It's going to be awful. Okay.
Well, unless Stefanski can work his magic.
He's going to make the concussion history disappear.
He could.
That's what needs to happen.
Changing his style. Well,
yeah.
Coaching has a lot to do with it, and offensive line has a lot to do with it, and a strong running game has a lot to do with it.
I know, but
a dual threat running game.
At some point, you're like past the point of no return. I think with these concussions.
No, he's not there yet.
Are you sure? He was so bad last year. He was so bad.
Well,
And-
he's had 8 months to recuperate.
I feel like he needs 8 years. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm very pessimistic on Tua. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I
Yeah.
mean, anything can happen. Okay.
yeah. So we're talking about New Orleans. I'm going to
Yeah.
pass, even though what did we have? You don't have the season wins there. So let me see if I can find it here. Because
I
think I had
don't.
it.
I don't. But I'd rather bet them to win the division. I think.
Yeah, I think I'm the same on that. I had New Orleans at 9. I had Tampa Bay at 8. Because again, I was negative on Tampa Bay at the time. I was negative on Carolina at 7.5, and Atlanta. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let me start over on that. I had New Orleans at 11 wins. You had them at 9.
Yeah.
I had Tampa at 7. You had them at 8. I had Carolina 8.5. You had them 7.5, and
Mhm.
we both had Atlanta at 4.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Atlanta's the one. We'll get to them. They're the next team, but yeah.
I'm passing on New Orleans, and yes, I would say, let me see what their division odds were. Their division odds were plus 310
There you go. Yeah.
on the division, which was very close to Carolina at plus 325. Tampa Bay at plus 200.
hmm
I'd have to think about that, but I do like, and I think we both liked the New Orleans at plus the 325 or whatever it was
Yeah.
at the
great.
time.
It's a great price. Yeah.
Division.
Okay. 2 more teams to go. The Falcons to make the playoffs are plus 225, and for them to miss the playoffs is minus 275.
I'm
so
sorry, you had 225 you had?
225, 275. So plus.
I've got them at plus 220 and minus 260, so a smaller spread.
Okay.
At South Point and at Circa plus 200. Wow. Plus 280 minus 355. In fact, they are clearly the underdog in that division.
Yes. So how do you feel about no one Atlanta adding them to a parlay?
Well, we both had them at 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is such a competitive division. I mean, Atlanta tied for the division title last year.
They did, yeah.
They were 8-9.
Yeah.
But that was good enough to tie them. And has any team in this division dramatically improved themselves? I like New Orleans, but I like, again, second-year quarterback, second-year coach. So I like that situation.
Right.
But if I look at Tampa Bay, Carolina, did Carolina significantly improve their team or just improve their team?
Carolina improved its defense. I'll say that. They added Jalen Phillips and they added Devin Lloyd, like 2 really good players. So I think people are kind of underestimating Carolina's improvements. Then again, can you trust Bryce Young? I mean, he had some nice moments last year, but for full season, I'm not sure. So
let me see what the price on Atlanta Falcons on their season wins. Okay. I would rather play them under 7.5 at minus 110 than to not make the playoffs.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch them here either.
Or even what did we say the yeah, they're minus 195 at under 8.5. And what are they to not make the playoffs? What did we say minus
to not make the minus 270.
280. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If they're minus 270, 280 to not make the playoffs. Well, yeah. I mean, you'd put it in a parlay, but I mean, you would play under the minus 195 on the under 8.5.
Right. Yeah. I'm not gonna add it. Okay. The final team, the Panthers.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pass on that one.
Yeah, me too. The Panthers to make the playoffs are plus 235, and to miss the playoffs, they're minus 290. So what do you have?
Okay. I've got a situation on this one here. Carolina at let me see here, at South Point. Plus 240, yes. Minus 280, no.
Okay.
And at Circa, plus 235, yes. Minus 280, no.
Okay.
And let me just check to win the division. Carolina is plus 325, okay, versus plus 235 to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And New Orleans is plus 310 to win the division and plus 200 to make the playoffs. I'd rather play Carolina and New Orleans
New Orleans, yeah.
to win the division,
Same, yeah.
plus over 200.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina to make the playoffs. Well, again, they're plus 235, yes, plus 325 to win the division. So unless you think two teams are going to make it from this division, it doesn't make sense to play the playoffs because you're getting better prices to win the division on both Carolina and New Orleans. Now you do have to factor Atlanta in there. I mean, Carolina. Carolina is where is it? Carolina is plus 325 division, plus 235 playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa, let's see, New Orleans plus 310 division, plus 200 playoffs. Atlanta plus 280 playoffs, plus 220, plus 280 division, plus 220 playoffs. That's the least likely of the scenarios. And Tampa Bay plus 200 to win the division and plus 130 to make the playoffs. So I guess you can't make money with the division. Well, you could if you played Tampa Bay, Carolina, and New Orleans, as long as it was Carolina or New Orleans to win the division, because they're both plus 3-1 or higher. So one of them would lose, and let's say Tampa Bay would lose, so you lose 200, but you're getting 325 on Carolina.
Mm.
But on the other hand, if you ignore Tampa Bay at the plus 200 and you just play Carolina and New Orleans to win the division, you're going to profit by over 2 units, regardless of which one of those two teams win.
Right.
So if you can eliminate Tampa Bay and Atlanta, and just go with Carolina and New Orleans to win their division. So I'm going to pass on the playoffs because mathematically, unless and like I say, Tampa Bay, I played plus 130 to make the playoffs, but I'm going to rethink that one now that we're talking, the 4 teams together.
Okay. All right. Those are the teams. Let's look at the parlay that we have here.
Yeah.
And then
this one, I'd rather wait until next week to look at it.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, next week
Oh, that's right. You're going to be here in Vegas. Well, maybe in 2 weeks then.
Yeah.
Because I really want to spend the time to look at the various combinations and see how I want to put together. And then again, I may not have the option here in Vegas of doing that, meaning I'd have to eliminate some of these ones, then decide which one. So I don't think. Now, if you want to go ahead and do it, but that's fine. I'd rather wait the 2 weeks.
Okay. So this parlay's 10 legs. It's Buffalo to make the playoffs. Cincinnati to make the playoffs. Pittsburgh to miss the playoffs.
Okay.
Chargers to make the playoffs.
Right.
Texans to make the playoffs.
Right.
Jaguars to make the playoffs.
Okay.
Rams to make the playoffs.
Okay.
49ers to make the playoffs.
Okay.
Lions to make the playoffs.
Okay.
And number 10 is the Packers to miss the playoffs.
So you've got 8 yes and 2 no.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
81 plus 81. It's a cool number.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll play $25 on it.
Yeah, that's worth it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one's about that one's a little over 2,000.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Andy, you have some new information on thelogicalapproach.com. Do you want to
I got 2 things up there. Let's scroll down a little bit because that's up there that if people want to take a look at my newsletter or anything, and I'll keep this up until noon, even though it's supposed to expire because there's a 20% discount by signing up by midnight tonight Pacific time. But that's in there for people who want to look at it. So I'll leave it up to like noon Pacific tomorrow because people haven't really had a chance to see that, at least from talking about it. But the one I really wanted to emphasize that I've been promising for like 2 years, beginning back in March of this year, is go down below and right there where the blue is. If you're interested in entering go back. Oh, okay. Did you click on that already?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You can go back to that link just to let them focus on the link for a little bit. Yeah, right there. Well, the interesting thing here, if you're entering a major Las Vegas handicapping contest this season, but need a proxy to submit your weekly selections. The reason I mentioned that is that if you do enter or want to enter, like the Survivor has a guaranteed pool that of 20 million that Walt and I plan on splitting this year. I will throw Evan in there as well. That'd still be over $6 million each. Okay,
that's okay.
There's something good for
I'm
Evan.
with
But
it.
no, that to enter these contests, you must register, sign up in Las Vegas, and then appoint a proxy to put the selections in for you each week. Now, if you happen to live in Southern California or Arizona or one of those places that is like that you come each week and bet the football games and watch them in one of the sports books, you probably don't need a proxy. And same thing if you live in Las Vegas because you're here. But if you're like a great number of people who enter these contests who come from not just faraway places in the States but overseas as well, the only person who can direct Circa or Westgate, and I think it'll be Caesars this year doing the payouts for the Westgate concerts because that partnership is going to become effective this month, although Westgate is the place where you sign up and where you will be you submitting the selections on their app throughout the season. But the person who would instruct, if like you're a team of, let's say, 5 people, you each put in $200 to play either Survivor and or Circa Millions, is the person who's on the registration form. Mm-hmm. So the way I explain it is, if you cannot make it here, if Walt couldn't make it here in person, okay, or let's say, well, I guess the situation was with Tom, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't make it last year, but he was partners with you in one of your selections, in one of your contests, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so you can have someone else enter for you. So let's say Tom was not coming out and he wanted, let's make it simple. He wanted his own entry. Okay. And he couldn't make it to Vegas. He would have Walt or some other trusted friend, a trusted relative, or a trusted colleague to come out and enter the contest, even though Tom would be the one supplying to the proxy, if it was me or some other proxy, that the selections each week. So at the end of the season, the person who signed up in his own name for the contest would be the one who would dictate how any prize winnings would be distributed. I'll give you a perfect example. Happened today. Longtime friend and client of mine was here with his wife for a few days, and he entered. What did he do? He did, I think, one entry in the Westgate Super Contest and one entry in the Westgate College Contest. Okay. He left his license in his hotel room, so his wife actually had to provide the ID, and the entry is in her name, even though she has nothing to do with the selections. And of course, my joke with Jeff was simply, we know who runs the household for the next 6 months. And it's Becky. You'll collect all the prize money on her own. So you got to be extra nice to her. Just joking. Right. But I mean, look, they've been married like 30, 40 years, whatever it is. 2 great kids already. They're out on their own in the business world. Okay. But the point is that, yes, you can enter the contest by not being in Vegas, but having someone enter on your behalf. And again, hopefully it's someone that you can trust. Because I hate to say it, but you know how money changes things. Of course. Especially if you're talking large amounts. Now, what you could have, and I don't know how legal it is. I guess it depends upon your jurisdiction. And and again, it's a question of trust. You would think that you could trust someone, but there are some people who would insist, because people are different. That let's say 3 of us are going to do this. We would have a contract amongst the 3 of us as to, here's how the monies are going to be split up if we win anything. Okay. And, maybe they say, okay, the first thing we will do, let's say it's you, me, and Tom. Okay. Yeah. And let's say that I don't live in Vegas. Okay. But I fly to Vegas to put the entry in. Okay. Yeah. And I use a proxy myself. I'll tell you what, let's make it different. Let's say that you, Tom, and another friend, okay, want to be teammates. Right. Okay. And let's say you come out here like you do every year. You use me as a proxy, and you pay the entry fee. And let's keep it simple. 1 entry in Circa Millions. Okay. at the end of the year, and you're partners with Tom and your other friend. So let's say you win $900,000. We'll keep it simple.
Okay.
Okay. So you're each entitled to 100,000. Okay, right?
Sure.
Okay. I'm sorry, you're 300,000. 3 times 3 is 9. Yeah. I was using 300 because it's a more realistic number, because I think second place in Circa Millions is 500, not 900. But let's say it's the 900. Okay. The first thing that comes off the top are your expenses for flying and staying in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you incurred those expenses on the part of the entire team, and you get reimbursed the proxy fee because that came out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, so that you get paid for that, or you get paid, or $200 comes out because 100 of it you would pay anyway. Okay, yeah. So your hotel expense, and then you say, okay, the remaining balance gets split up 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Now maybe it's a different situation where, let's say, let's say you get a fee for being the brains behind it or whatever, making the selections or whatever, even though I think it would be a joint thing. But let's say you decided, okay, you're going to get a little extra because of all the work that you did compared to the other two. Whether or not they would agree to that or not is whatever. But I'm going to say, so you would get 40% of the amount to be split up, and they would each get 30% of the amount. Some people, I would think it would not be unreasonable to ask for such a contract amongst the three of you.
Yeah.
But I would also understand why people would say, hey, we're really good friends, we don't need to do that. And then they offer those famous 3 words, you can trust me.
Yeah.
And no, the reason I say that is it depends on the person who is really registered. I don't expect it to happen for a lot of people that I do business for, and I don't ask what their situations are, because I normally deal with people like I'm a pretty good judge of character, but when money gets involved, you never really know. But that's the way. So anyway, so people who they want to take a look at, in fact, click on the link there now. That okay, and go to the very top of the page. Okay, yeah, okay, there it is. It says a sports book, blah, important note. That part in the middle where I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm working on that because that's going to be links to what goes down the page. And if you scroll slowly down the page, there's like a brief introduction. Then number 2, go a little further. The proxy and his service he's provided explains the proxy process and the communication, etc. Go down to number 3, which is basically a basic introduction, and the capital lettering there is all about needing to be in Las Vegas, and you can send a friend or a relative or whatever, etc. And then we go down to the various contests. Number 4 is the super contest, the classic, the $1,500 one, the pick 5. You can take a look. The first thing to click, the official rules. You'll see exactly what I have, in my hands. And then, and then I'll go back, click back. Then you have the main. Actually, it's the main. I got to change that link a little bit because they sent me to the main Westgate link as opposed to the Westgate Superbook, which is the one that I thought I had put in there, and I'm going to go change that. Okay, but anyway, then I show you the highlights, the format, the entry fee, etc. So scroll down a little further, and we do it with the other contest. Next one is Super Contest Gold. That's the $5,000 winner take all. Yep. Again, here are the official rules for that contest and the highlights. Scroll down some more. Okay, then we got this Super Contest Survivor. That's a $5,000. Also winner take all. It's like the Circa Survivor. Again, I put highlights in there. Instead of doing the format, I put highlights because this is the first time I was writing this one up. Didn't write it up last year. Got to down a little further. And then we got the same thing. And this one I went back to the formats because I basically modified it from the Super Contest, just changed it for the college football. But you can click for the rules there. And then you go down and we see the Circa. And here, in fact, okay, here's Circa Million rules, rules. But click on the main Circa sports page because you'll find that one interesting. Okay, scroll down a little bit. Okay, scroll a little more. Stop right there. I don't know how often they update, every couple of days, but you can see right now they don't do it for Westgate. At least I haven't seen it. Maybe they do. Yeah. I think they do it in the sportsbook itself. But Circa says, as of right now, 831 entries in the Circa Millions. They need 6,000 entries to guarantee the prize pool of 6 million. If they get 5,800, Circa puts in the balance of the 200,000 to get up to 6 million.
Right.
Circa Survivor, which will be the most popular contest, you can see the prize pool guaranteed is 20 million, so they need 20,000. And just to give you an idea, last year they guaranteed 15 million, and they got almost 19 million in there. They needed 15,000 entries, and they got 18,000 and change. I think there was a 6-way tie, and they each got like 3.1, 3.2 million, the winners. That one contest also went the entire season. And then for the Grandissimo, which is, just move that up a little bit, just so people can see it. Yeah, 4 entries. That's a $100,000 entry fee, and they're guaranteeing 4 million, so they need 40 entries to get to the 4 million. Last year was the first year, and I think they got like 65 or 66 in the contest.
Okay. Yeah.
And now click back. And okay, now you can go down, and here are the rules for the Circa Survivor, and then go down a little further, and then there are the highlights, and then you go down a little further, and Circa Grandissimo is basically the same as the Circa Survivor except for the entry fee. And click the official rules, and we'll go back up to Survivor for a moment, because I do explain very thoroughly Circa Survivor. Go down a little bit. Keep going. I think it's okay. Rules 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 talk about splitting Christmas week and Thanksgiving week up into 2 separate contest weeks. In other words, and that's different from the Westgate. The Westgate Survivor just goes the 18 regular season weeks maximum. It could be over in 14 weeks. Same thing here. But they've never had in the first 6 years of the contest a single winner, and I think they would like to try and get a single winner. So now a few years ago they said, okay, pick a tiebreaker for the number of wins or something for the last Super Bowl champion as a tiebreaker or something along those lines. This, in the last few years, they've done it in a way that makes it a little bit more exciting, depending upon your point of view, I guess. And that is, they've split Thanksgiving week up into, this year, Wednesday, Thursday, and Black Friday, which are 5 games, and then Sunday through Monday, which are 11 games. And Christmas week, they broke up Christmas Eve, which I believe is the Thursday game, and Christmas Day, which I believe is 3 games. So 4 games, and then 12 games for the rest of the week. And now they may have Saturday games that they will decide later in the year, but it won't be the Thursday or the Friday games. So if there are 2, let's say, I think there's a double header in this Christmas, they will be part of the Sunday, Monday games, because obviously you don't know what teams they are until they decide, which I think the NFL said they're going to do it like by week 13. So they can't change that. Now, this is important. Because of the Christmas and Thanksgiving week, you're going to have 2 selections those week. I call it Part A and Part B. Part A is the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of Thanksgiving. Part B is the Sunday, Monday. Christmas, same thing. Now, here are the 10 teams that are playing on Thanksgiving week. Okay, the short part, Part A, 10 teams. And here are the 8 teams that are playing in Part 1 of the Christmas week. Okay? Now, so you want to make sure you save a number of teams that you don't use them all, because you can only use a team once. So you want to make sure that you have, let's say, I'll say at least 4 to 6 of the 10 teams that play Thanksgiving Part A, and probably at least 3 to 5, or maybe 2 to 4 of the 8 teams that play a month later in the Christmas week. However, items 7 and 8 show that 6 of the 10 teams that play on Part A of Thanksgiving also play as part of Christmas week. So that's to keep in mind when you're navigating about what to do on Thanksgiving. Keep in mind that 6 of those teams, for the now there are 5 games, so you'll only have to pick 5 of those 10 teams, but you will have to pick 4 of the 8 teams that play on Christmas, 3 of which also played on Thanksgiving.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you do want to be careful about it. Anyway, if anyone has any questions, go down, I think, towards the bottom, I think, at the very end, which I think is largely a repeat of the proxy, what the proxy does. Because by the time you've gone through the other 10, you may have forgotten about this part, but it's a repeat of what's up there, and it'll make a little bit more sense here once you've read the highlights and or the rules. So go down a little bit further. Keep going. Keep going.
That's
okay. Yeah. Just raise it up till you get the bottom 2 lines up. Keep going. Go right a little higher. No, the other way. The other way. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. A little bit more. A little bit more.
That's it. I can't go down.
You can't go. Okay. Okay. You see it. Okay. I'm seeing it on the screen where they've got some of the comments over it. If you have any questions, you can give me a call or a text, or you know what? Go back up to the top. We'll do real quick. Go up to where we repeated this stuff. You'll be able to do it up there, all the way up to the top.
All the way. All right.
Well, to like number 2. Okay. Down. Keep going down to the bottom of that section. Keep going. Okay, stop. Right above where it says the football contest, that's what you do. If you want to contact me about the proxy situation, or even just to find out more details about the contest, if there's something I may not have explained or that you read the rules, you can either text me, give me a call, or send me an email. You know, whether you decide to. And by the way, there are a lot of good proxies out there, so it's not necessarily a plug for myself, but I've been doing it literally 21 years.
Yeah. And I'll say this, Andy has never missed anything. He's been proxying for me for almost about 15, 16 years now.
Has it been that much? Wow.
Yeah, because my partner was in contact.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that. Yeah.
Matt D. Yeah.
Matt D. Yeah.
Yes. So
and I think wasn't he from California? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, San Francisco area. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I know who it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we've been I've been using Andy for 16 years ish, and he's never once made an error. And also,
so you're with the proxy that you are paying proxy really for perfection.
Yeah.
And actually the least of it, well, it's important, but obviously submitting the picks, but the most important part is making sure the picks are submitted on time. And that's why, for example, I think in the case of Circa and Westgate. Well, the Westgate College is different because that contest uses college football, which is played mainly on Saturdays. And, they also have games on Thursday and Friday. The deadline to submit the college plays for me is Friday, but I have it like early afternoon because their absolute deadline is 5 p.m. And when I say absolute deadline, that's a drop dead deadline. You submit them by 5 p.m., and that is a hard and fast deadline. And I emphasize that in some of the contests there. For the Circa, they have a 4 p.m. Pacific time deadline. And I think last year I went to I think it was 10 a.m. deadline because I needed to get everything in order. Because, with all the clients that I have, many of them do put them in. Look, the lines come out for Westgate on Wednesday night or 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. They come in at 10 a.m. on Thursday morning for Circa, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. And there are some people who, when the lines come out at 10 a.m. Eastern, I've got their selections by 10:45. They know who they're going to play. Guys like Walt, understandably so, take as long as possible because, look, not that the others aren't serious about it, but he has many more things that he looks at before deciding on plays. And a lot of people like that. So I got to crush the selections. And obviously I want enough time to review the selections to find out, is there something that that they entered by mistake. Okay. So I can get a hold of them and get them back to, they can get back to me and then have to get those timely in by 4 p.m. And the reason that I moved it used to be noon. And I had to move it back because Westgate, in an attempt to gain the publicity that Circa has gained, because Circa has for the people out there, if you're familiar with VSiN, VSIN, which is the Vegas Sports and Information Network, they have, you can watch them on the internet, on their website, vsin.com. There's a radio link if you want to listen to the show or view it as well. Anyway, they have a show that starts at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 2 hours after the deadline, where they go over the most popular selections in the Circa Millions, and they go over all the selections in the Survivor contest.
Right.
Westgate's deadline used to be like 9 p.m., And then they realize, hey, let's make our deadline earlier also, because we can get some radio coverage for the publicity, that Circa is doing. And they don't do it as advertisers. Circa does it. I mean, I don't know. I assume they don't. Well, I think Circa may have something, and maybe Westgate does too. But I think they do it simply because of the publicity that it draws people into their property and things like that for Circa to get it. And Westgate as well would like to get the same thing. So on Westgate now, when they moved it down, I had to move my deadline from, I think it was 3 p.m. to meet their 5 p.m. deadline. I had to move the 3 p.m. deadline back to noon because I now had the earlier Westgate deadline. And of course, I'm my first priority at that time is to get the Circa ones in that are due at 4, and then make sure I get the Westgate ones in that are due at 5. And so it allows me to have extra time to do the Westgate selections that I didn't have in the past when I was able to extend the deadline to noon for Circa. Now I have less time, and that carries over to the Westgate. So anyway, that's those are the mechanics. If anyone has any questions about that, or even questions about the newsletters and things, you can. I'll keep the newsletter thing open till tomorrow at some point, because I got to do the coding myself, and I got to make sure I change the date. Because what happens is there's still going to be a discount, but it's down to 10% rather than 20% after today, because that's been up since June 1st, whatever it was. In any event, for the contest thing, if people want some information on that, I'll be happy to assist them, regardless of whether they sign up, whether or not they use me as a proxy or not. Walter and I have a vested interest in getting as many people as possible into these contests, because we're planning on cashing.
That's right. Exactly.
And even if we don't cash, whoever does cash will catch a nice price. And you can read about the price structure. In fact, the Circa Millions pays 100 places.
Yeah.
And if you go to, and I pointed out in my description of Circa Millions, the rule number, I think it's rule 14, if I remember, they show you exactly what the distribution is when I talk about the payoffs. Is this Circa Millions?
Yeah.
Yeah, go down. I think it's... keep going. I think it's number 10. For a detailed breakdown of the entire price structure, please see official rule 14. Lengthy, but complete, because they show what the percentages are that go to each of the prize places. By the way, in the event that Circa exceeds the 6,000 entries needed for the Circa Millions, all of the excess goes to the prize pools. There's no rake. 100% of whatever the entry fees are, including the guarantee, get redistributed. Now, if there is, let's say instead of 6,000 entries, you get 7,000 entries. 50% of the excess entries go towards the 4 in-season quarterly prizes, and I think the 2 booby prizes, which are the records for the worst record instead of the best. And the other 50% goes to increase the paydays for, I think it's numbers 1 through 100. It may be number 2 through 100, because I believe first place is $1 million, second place is 500,000. So I think if you win $1 million, you're happy, and they can increase all the other places going down from second to 100. I wouldn't mind if they just increase it for those people who finish like 60th to 100 or something.
Yeah.
Or at least let's say either once they got under 6 figures, or at the very worst, once they got under 5 figures, they could increase those prices. But that's the way they do it. But you can see that price structure as far as that goes. If there's an excess in the Survivor, that's a winner take all, last man standing. So any excess over the 20,000 entries, and I'm projecting between 22 and 25,000 this year, and that may be on the understated side based on the popularity. By the way, you can have I figured out you can actually enter as many as 30 entries in the Survivor, because they do have a twist. If the normal rule is you can have a maximum of 10 entries, but if you happen to play the Thursday or Friday opening, well, I guess it's the Wednesday and Thursday and Friday opening. Well, I think it's the Wednesday and Thursday game. I don't know. Is it a Friday game the first week? I don't think so. No, that's not. That was the football in Texas thing. Yeah. So if you play Wednesday and or Thursday, and your entry loses or ties, by the way, ties lose also, because your team has to win. Okay. If you lose on Wednesday and or Thursday, you get to replace that entry. Okay. So, and in other words, let's say you lose on Wednesday, you can buy your entries back beginning with Thursday. So the extreme example is, let's say you have 10 entries on Wednesday and they all lose.
Mhm.
You can buy another 10 entries on Thursday. And let's say they all lose. You can buy 10 more entries. That'll start the rest of week 1 on Sunday, and that's it. So basically, the easy way of thinking of it, not that too many people are going to get 10 entries, but look, syndicates will. They'll pull 30 people together and each buy 10 entries and have,
Right.
30 shots to, I'm going to get to another little part of that in a moment, because it is such a popular contest. But basically, it comes down to a contestant who's on the registration form, whether they're part of a team or not, because a team, if you had 30 people to pool their money together, there would be 3 separate registrations, because each one could do it initially. You could do it differently, if you set up. But the point is, you cannot have any more than 10 active entries entering week 1,
Right. Okay.
or more than 10 entries entering the Thursday game if you lost on Wednesday. Now, I mentioned that you can only use a team once a season. This is straight up, no point spread involved. Okay. However, you are unlimited in the number of times that you can play against a team. So let's say you think that Arizona is going to be a lousy team this year. You can play against them week after week after week. And ultimately, like against Tennessee, you might lose that entry when they pull an upset. And most likely with Arizona's schedule, that if they do win a game, it would be an upset. But upsets happen frequently. Okay. Sometimes they're dramatic, like last year with New England losing at home to the Raiders, eliminated a huge amount, because that was, I think, the biggest spread, or one of the biggest spreads on the board. The year before that, I think you actually had New England win at Cincinnati, when Cincinnati was one of the favorites, to make the Super Bowl. Burrow was healthy at the time.
Mhm.
But the thing is that you can play against a team up to 14 times, because the exception is, because you can't use a team twice, you can't use them in any of the 3 second games against a division rival.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be it. Assuming again that you used 13 unique teams, but or I'm sorry, that you used a single team 13 times.
Yeah, that would be interesting if that
yeah.
happened. But
I mean, technically, well, I guess it could be possible, even though like Seattle and the Rams play 2 of the last 3 weeks. You might save. Well, I don't know that you would want to play. Well, you might want to play against Seattle or LA, depending upon the situation after week 15. But the point is, if you're playing a lousy team, and there have been only 2 winless teams in the modern era. You had Detroit back in the mid 2000s and Cleveland in the mid 2010s. So I think they both went 0-16.
I think they were back to back, weren't they? No. Wait, no. It was.
I want to say Detroit was around 2008 or 2009, maybe.
2008, because they got Stafford with the first pick in 2009.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a little bit extra of a dissertation that put us a little bit over 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So as
they say, listeners and viewers, you get what you paid for. 3 hours. That's one way to look at it, because you paid nothing. So maybe you felt you got nothing out of the 3 hours.
Well, I think
you won't have those 3 hours back, but you do get to look at the archives if you missed anything there.
That's true. So yeah, like I said, I recommend Andy as a proxy. I highly recommend Andy. So definitely check this out if you're looking to enter the contest. But otherwise, please hit like, subscribe.
Now, by the way, and I don't know, I don't know. You probably have a much better idea of this. Mm-hmm. How legitimate are there issues with getting paid by offshore books?
What do you mean by offshore? I mean,
well, I was going to say out of the U.S. country that you deal with, or that you might deal with, or even things other than DraftKings or FanDuel here in the U.S. As far as the regulations are concerned, the offshore books are not regulated.
Yeah, right. I mean, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM, Bet365, etc. They will pay you instantly. I've never.
Well, I know Caesars and MGM are, because they're connected to the, the Nevada corporations.
Right. Like those, none of those have issues. I have heard horror stories about Bovada and also Top Bet. So I would not
Well, no,
trust those.
that's what I'm questioning. And you made that is for those of you who may not do betting, let's say regularly, or maybe you do it the quote unquote old fashioned way, if you know what I mean. Um, but if you've never used like one of the offshore books, you might find out that well, I see that Kamara just I think he
Yeah, he
renegotiated his contract
restructured.
or something. Yeah,
Yep.
or
Yep.
restructured it. Yeah.
Mhm.
But in any event, you want to make sure that, like Walt says, that there are horror stories out there because there's no regulation down in some of those countries. Now, some of them are very legitimate and they pay, very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't use any of those offshores, non-US companies.
Bookmaker.eu is very good. I've never had an issue with them.
Yeah.
Bovada, as they said,
Yeah.
I saw a screenshot of this. So this is real. I know someone who made around $35,000 using our draft props on Bovada, and Bovada refused to pay them out because they called them a gambling syndicate. I guess because they knew what was going to happen. So Bovada refused to pay him out, and
wait a minute! Isn't making a bet on a draft gambling?
Yes.
How do they make the connection to the syndicate?
I don't know. That's what they called them. They said you're a gambling syndicate. We will not pay you.
No, but how? But how do they know? Was it one person that didn't get paid, or a series of people you don't know?
No, it's just one guy. Well,
Okay.
it was with two people, but I was different bets. So it was no. The guy was he sent me a screenshot and he
Right.
said, should I contact my lawyer? And I'm like, your lawyer can call them and they're gonna laugh. They don't care. They're in Costa Rica. They're not gonna. They don't give two craps.
That was what, Bovada?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Now, what did the screenshot show?
The exchange, the email, and the winning bets. So
No, but did it show that we're not paying you? Did the screenshot show that?
Yes.
Okay. Here's what the lawyer says. My client doesn't get paid. This screenshot gets posted all over the internet.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned Bovada as well.
Yeah.
Many times, and I said, hey, why aren't you paying so and so out? It was they didn't care. But they at least they refunded the bets, so that at least they got their monch back. But that's still
wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's, look, it's called gambling, but that doesn't mean that the book doesn't gamble. Also, they just have the edge.
Right.
It's gambling for them too.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, and we talk about it often. Probably pops up once a month or so. If I'm running a sports book and I've got a group 1, 2, 5 whatever who are constantly beating me, I want their action. I want to know what they're doing so I can adjust my numbers and beat the people who I normally beat anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that'll increase. It's like paying for information, and the information in this case, look. I mean, the books think they should beat everybody, but they know realistically they don't. So if they know if there's a group or a person that beats them consistently, maybe they want to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that whoever beats them does not compensate in their bets alone for what they take in from everybody that they beat.
Yeah, no, it's you're definitely paying for it, and
so if these guys are winning, you'll be losing. You'll be losing to that group, which you've been losing to anyway, but you will now be collecting from a lot of people who will be taking advantage of what they see as better lines because they adjusted their lines based upon, I won't say that the side they know is going to lose, but they've adjusted the lines to make it more attractive to take the side that is against the guys who win.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's simple business.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true.
And remember, they still have the built-in 11 to 10, or whatever line they're using. The 110 to the 105, or however they want to do it.
Oh yeah,
in the case of some real bad books who have minus 120, minus 120 each side.
Oh yeah, and the people who play the parlays, they love them, and I say this as someone who just put together 10-leg parlays.
Yeah, well, but you're doing it recreationally.
Right. Yeah.
You're not putting in you're not putting the winnings into your budget for next week.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that'll be it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com, visit thelogicalapproach.com. We'll be back tomorrow with Kenny. We're going to do a fantasy draft. That'll be fun. No,
what kind of fantasy? Oh, is that the getting football?
yeah, football, yeah,
NFL.
yeah, NFL, yeah.
Okay.
And then Friday, no
Is
show.
that one with the cards?
No.
Oh.
They don't. They got rid of
They don't
that.
have Oh, okay.
They DraftKings had Rainmakers. It was the same thing. They got rid of it
Oh, okay.
because legal issues. So,
Oh.
but yeah,
Friday no show because
no show Friday because Tom is moving.
Oh.
Yeah, so he is.
Where is he moving within his location or?
Yeah, I think somewhat the same state.
He lives in Florida, right?
Yeah. He's
I mean, like,
moving
is he moving within the same town or?
Same state, but moving northward. So
Towards Jacksonville.
Yeah.
He wants to get good Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah, I
Jags.
guess so. Yeah. He should buy jerseys.
Well, they play out at SoFi.
Yeah.
This year.
Right. Okay. So yeah, and then next week we have a Tuesday show, but and then we're gonna have one from Vegas, and that's it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much.
When's your show from Vegas?
Probably Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be doing it from? Tuscany?
Yeah. We could talk. Yeah, we could talk about that if you want.
Yeah, maybe I could do something like that next Friday. Would be the 24th.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your night, and
good luck to everybody, and hope our opinions and recommendations and plays that we've either made or are about to make help you.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do it again in 2 weeks on my birthday, actually.
Oh, happy early birthday!
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and have a good night.